Kai'Sa, and yeah, you just may as well go all in. And this is what BNK FEARX really built themselves around last year.
They can't dive you if you're diving them.
Exactly. And they would just keep it simple. That's what the drafts were. That was alongside Ryu.
He's pushing away from him.
Yeah, and he missed out on experience, I believe, on that last minion. That's kind of crazy.
He's just getting full zoned, and Knight is...
And there is vision here as well, so Knight might just be able to solo kill him. The Raptor's getting involved, and there is...
It's coming through. If Shun stays, Clear is screwed, and he stayed. So he's flipping it. This is the top lane nightmare. When the wave is frozen on you, you cannot base in that...
There's a snare onto On, but he is just testing the waters, as Kellen has made his way up.
And On is going to actually look.
Flash out. Kellen knows that he's in trouble. Vault Breaker comes through. There's a seismic shot. For the world, as there's a headbutt from On to get him into the back of that Raptor pit. That is exactly where Vikla wanted to be before. And
600 gold lead plus in the top lane. Oh, hit 1,000 there. Knight's gonna kill him again.
That's a solo kill under an inner turret there, Azale. Let's see where the Knight can get. No, he's not going to be able to get out. So
he has, fallen a little bit behind as far as the CS is concerned, but doesn't want to.
There's the flash from Bin. Had that advantage. As now, let's see where the Clear can get himself out of the way. The answer is probably not. As there's the bonk, and Bin picks it up with an Empower.
Nicely done.
Himself a dragon.
Yep, and to talk a little bit about Knight, this guy has been racking up championships. Bin, though, is maybe going to be in some trouble, but he's going to fight in the wave. This is not an easy fight here.
There's the flash off the Vault Breaker here from Raptor. He does have cease and desist, so Bin is likely just going to die here. Does have the counter strike, but it's a good Vault Breaker to come on through. There's the cease and desist. Finally, they managed to take him down, and you could see just how dangerous that was.
Yeah, really. I mean, Raptor obviously didn't want to use the ult, but they're going to run more bot.
Yeah, in the meantime, there's a Pulverize onto Diablo. Great killer instinct to get himself out of the way as Pop Blossom keeps them all busy, but they just decide they'll kill Kellen. Down will go the Cal.
Miscommunication, because On was looking to combo Kellen.
In the meantime, though, we've got even more action, as now On possibly in a little bit of trouble, but now Raptor finds himself among 3 people. The Cow even able to walk his way out, as finally he will go down.
Try to play for these grubs. He's been very active on the map. I honestly really am impressed with how he's playing this. Navigating this Nico matchup is not easy, and they are now going to try to look to set up a dive.
Well, let's see where the Clear can find the perfect ultimate here, as he does throw it out, but he gets blocked, and down will go the Ambessa with no real issues there at all. On turns up and grabs himself. As Vikla trying to get the shove out here, as we don't get the snare onto Shun, but the wall comes through, gets the flash. Cease and desist, though, delivers Raptor all the way in. That's a great shove, as there's the Black Pop Blossom finding all 3 from Kellen, but Shun just gets out of there. The Cow grabs another one. Again, as Shun just decides he wants to get himself out of there. Diablo is a little bit scary, and so you could understand it. As Kellen towards his bottom side of the map. In goes Raptor once again, looking to clear out some vision, but down comes Viper as well. Chains of Corruption does come in. Vikla's turned up at the same time, but Raptor is already dead, and Bin now joins the fight. It's a good cleanse there from Diablo, and he tries to keep himself alive, but he's out of this one, not exactly healthy enough to help out, and that is just a dead jungler and an almost guaranteed dragon here for BLG.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be the dragon. Bin trades the flash and the TP for the cleanse. They're going to go for a dive.
That is a big old Realm Warp as they get the Pop Blossom off onto one of them, but Shun is pretty happy to tank things up. That's a kill for Viper, one for Bin as well, as Clear is at least able to keep things interesting, but he'll be going down. It's a double for his opposite number, and an ace for BLG.
It's a 15-minute ace in a 5v5 under your own tower here. BLG are leaving no doubts in this game. Absolutely stomping FEARX here in game number 1.
And just didn't quite find the value that he was looking for underneath that turret. That Pop Blossom could have been devastating, but not to be the case. And now we're sitting at almost a 6,000 gold lead. We're heading towards blowout territory here in game number 1, as Raptor will be able to steal away a dragon. So there is at least that. Yeah, not too bad. No double dragon that I was worried. You know, the worrying sign hasn't begun. As we do have Shelly getting involved as well. She's going to get a headache, but it will be BLG taking down this outer turret in the mid lane, opening up the map completely. And BNK, what are we going to be able to do to find something? Well, we're just going to start more fights. That's going to be the plan. As let's see whether Raptor is going to be able to make this one work. Double Pop Blossom to come through from Kellen as he gets amongst it. But they're a little bit out of sync. And down will go the Nico. BLG just kind of weathering it.
Look at bot. No one is answering bin. They moved everyone there because FEARX realized this game is already cooked. You can't just sit and look for regular plays and play side lanes. You're going to bleed out. So they send everyone to try to really hard force this play, but BLG are able to absorb it pretty easily. It does cause some flashes on Knight and Viper, so the representation here. This is the first time we've seen a new mid laner from the LCK in forever, as Knight may be going to get dove here.
Yeah, there's a cease and desist. Pop Blossom comes on down there as he is delivered into the open arms of Diablo, and Raptor manages to tank up the turret successfully. Kellen probably didn't want to take that last shot, but now the rest of BLG are closing in. They do have a man disadvantage, though. And Bin has teleported forward. Clear turns up as well. All 5 of B&K are in the mix, but On keep himself available with that ultimate. There's the public execution, and Shun is going to take down Raptor. They look to try and get one back, as now Shun, is he going to be able to survive? Oh my god, he is. As now Vikla dealing with Bin as best he can by dying. That's kind of the only option you really have here, is now Shun chasing down Kellen, and he's dead as well. Yes, you managed to kill Knight.
To start off that fight, and he is just soloing 3 members in the back line. It's a fight that is dominated. It is a 20-minute Baron, and it is 21 kills for BLG before 21 minutes in. They both have that stasis here at pre-22 minutes. There's a locket completed. Viper's on 3 full items. So everyone is very, very strong at this point, and Shun don't have that international experience. You know, maybe haven't had as much experience traveling and playing at these big events, and they are in 2019 until Vikla qualified here, which is very, very cool. Obviously a tough game 1, but still, it's nice to see a new team, a new mid laner, a new face kind of popping up here in the LCK and showing that they can actually mix it up with those legends who have been dominating that league for so long.
Yeah.
Top lane gets killed by an early gank. Tough for a jungler when both your soul laners are getting solo killed very early on in the game.
On the map. I mean, there is money to be made here for B&K if they can get towards these structures. As, oh dear, Kellen is going to be very, very dead, as that is going to be Viper with our last auto attack, and that will be able to take down the Nico. Not very lucky, not able to escape.
So there's so many tools that BLG have, and they can just throw everything at Diablo, because as long as Diablo isn't hitting, you have no damage.
Well, Bin is going to look for clear here, as he does have the ultimate available. Changes position as they take down Viper. This could actually be a good start to this fight, as now Knight has been separated as well. It is Diablo going for something a little more aggressive than he probably should, and now the Realm Warp is going to deliver. Bin,
and as a result, he dies, and as soon as Diablo's down, there's no hope left in the fight for them.
Yeah, let's have a look at it again.
Yeah, the angle is good. BLG are looking for a fight, and BFX say, hey, we can actually find something here. Raptor Q flash, they one-shot him, but then watch this. As Diablo, I think he cleansed nothing, but does get Q flash. Really nice setup there from On. Knocks him right into the waiting arms of Bin, into that counter strike.
And they'll be able to start creating a bit of an advantage from this buff. As Diablo off to the side. We're going to try and take down some of these. We do have a bit of a collapse onto Shun. Vaultbreaker comes down. There is the Weaver's Wall as well to block off the reinforcements, and the GA was popped. Down goes Shun. There is at least another one, but the counter-strike onto 2 from Bin. He makes his way into the back line, and pop goes Diablo. Man, he presses W, and people die. That is just what it looks like here as Knight teleports his way in. There is a reposition from Clear to try and keep them busy, but he is now just going to try and go for a bit of an escape here, and I don't know whether it's quite going to work, because now Bin just needs a couple more cooldowns, and Clear will just be dead.
Yeah, that is a level 18 Jax. That leap strike is a short cooldown, buddy.
At least he's level 18 and not level 20, because that would be worse. As, all right, BLG going to break open the base here, and I think this might be the end of the game. 11,000 gold the lead, and just a couple of Nexus turrets to get BLG towards a 1-0 start in this best of 5. Pop Blossom only onto 1. That is not exactly what you want, as now Raptor just desperately trying to deal with the minions, but there are 2 cannons taking down these Nexus turrets, and down will go the Nexus here in game number 1. Utter dominance from BLG, as they will go 1-up in the series.
Damn, 29 kills in 29 minutes here. I thought we were going to be in for a pretty competitive series, but BLG, if they're going to have their way, it's not going to be that.
No, that was swift destruction here of B&K, a team that hasn't had a lot of international experience. You can understand why they would not exactly be feeling the most comfortable, but I'm going to give them 1 game, right?
Yep.
And if it doesn't work in game number 2, that's when we're going to start worrying. Let's throw it over to the analyst desk to see whether they're worried about B&K FEARX.
Lane, it's an AD jungler. You now have your essential dive squad there. You shield them up, you send them in. It is going going to be Aurora as the option here for Knight. Knight is an absolutely terrifying Aurora. And when you are playing dive, you have 4 champions here. Well, 3 really.
Connect. But on turning up first is going to mean that things should be all right here for Shun, and stealing away Raptors. This is always a problematic scenario. As Kellen looking to take on for a walk. Does manage to do so here as some of these daggers are connecting, and it looks like the big Raptor will go over to Raptor this time. As, wow, anything you can do, I can do better, says Vikla, as he's immediately put into the bubble. The Molten Shield working out quite nicely, and Shun flashes away to keep himself alive, and there is first blood over tonight. Flashes out. Maybe I missed the patch note. You can only teleport to minions in very scary positions with enemy teammates all over the place. I think that's maybe a change that must have happened.
They should try that one with his ear. Maybe that'll get him. The large rod isn't working, so.
All right, well, there's level 6. Bear comes down, but there is Between Worlds already. Shun turns up, and Vikla dead once again. Knight sitting at 2-0 to start. BLG not wanting to try to contest this at all. That will be taken, so a Hextech Dragon to be going down.
Playing barrier, and obviously has a lot of mobility built in. That, I think, is the real challenge for BFX, is can they really be picture perfect with their engages and delete one of those carries? And if they can, I think they have a real shot.
Well, 2 grubs do go over to BNK as Raptor smites away that one, and also, never mind. So it is going to be absurd. And with no flash to contend without a Vikla here either, I mean, Knight is going to be able to farm these plates in this mid lane.
Yeah, you got to be careful too, because when QE comes back up, he could flash and farm the champions as well. That is a risky recall.
Well, there is another fight here brewing towards his bottom side. Is now Viper in a lot of trouble. That is Kellen locking down that killer. Shun turns up, and finally Diablo gets one at the same time. Kellen, say that, BLG ticks up to join them. So this is some League of Legends that we have here. It was the gets away with the ulti.
Yeah, you got to be a little bit crazy, I feel like, to be a very good Nefiri player.
Yeah.
As, you really have to play on that knife's edge, and Vikla down 2 levels.
Yeah, Bin is going to turn up. There is the Grand Starfall as well from Shun, and Vikla, I think, is dead, as he's just going to get fully charged up on that Q, and down he will go. Pantheon grabs another one, and Vikla sitting at 0-3-0. This is not what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that it's the year of Vikla, but it's not looking like the year of Vikla here.
No.
It's the wrong hemisphere, perhaps. Something like that. I don't know.
Exactly. It's a time change thing.
It must be
ticked over to the year.
It's something like that. Clear, though, not looking like he's too worried about it. It's just going to eat the fish. And down will go on. Bin is still alive, though, and has that big old shield as he turns up. And I think they're going to have to sacrifice more than just Raptor here, as Clear is likely to be going down. And Viper is able to help Knight get a double here on this top side.
Relatively early on. And he doesn't have Tabby, so he's maybe not quite as tanky as he could be, but still, it's going to be very tough to crack. And Raptor just trying to zone them back, get more gold here for Diablo.
Yeah, man, this
really is their hope.
This turret could just be dead, as Diablo is just putting so many bullets in it. Finally, Shun is going to come on forward, and the bubble connects. And Diablo really wanted to kill that turret, does manage to get it from the grave, as in comes the train. Bin to lock down. Raptor here goes untargetable for a few moments and tries to keep himself alive. True Shot Barrage, not enough, but the spear will do it. And BLG, yeah, that was a pretty good answer.
Yeah, I mean, Diablo, we talked a lot about the positives, right? About how good he is at playing on the knife's edge. Sometimes he stabs himself with the knife, you know, unfortunately. And that felt like a bit of an unforced one where, I mean, he's standing in the face of the Pantheon to knock down the turret. He did end up getting it, but he dies for it. Your mid lane turret dies for it. You are going to lose quite a bit. At the very least, they did get a tower back on top side as well, as Bin did move and cleared stayed top. BLG will get a dragon, though, so they're going to stomp that soul stacking. Raptor died. And it is nearly a 3K gold lead now here for BLG. Fully in control once again. Lane complete now, so Knight's burst going to ramp up a ton. I think Kellen was just hoping that they could actually stop the base from Knight, but they're going to go for a dive.
Yeah, they're going to look to try and take down this turret first as Knight goes between the worlds and tries to escape. He should be able to, oh, never mind. Taken out here as it's a kill for Raptor after taking down the turret at the same time. Bin forced to flash away, but Ingo's Clear looking for an opportunity. Slice and Dyson manages to pick up Shun, as now Bin not long for the world. The bubble doesn't connect, as Bin takes a bit of killing, but he'll go down in the end, and there is the BNK. That mid lane had nothing to charge into, and so just the timing on that fight so bad for BLG as Between Worlds Knight goes once again, but this time he is in a whole lot of trouble. Tivers is getting a whole lot of work done here underneath this turret. As down goes Shun one more time. Plates are just evaporating from this inner turret, and Vikla survives with just barely any any health. I think he deserves that one after dying 3 times in a row in the early game. He's dead.
Oh, caught
I should never say it, man.
Yeah.
I should never say it.
Once he gets the IE, well, the clock kind of strikes 10, right? Like, that is where it is really tough.
Well, now he is in the front line. Does have to flash as between worlds he goes, and Knight is able to take down Diablo. Yeah, that was not my vision of the fact that this is happening. As Vikla trying to charge up that stun, he will have it available as now Clear trying to get himself amongst it. Raptor able to bounce over this wall at any moment. And so they do have to have their fingers on the smite button, or at least Shun does. As there's a knock-up actually on to the Neferi as in he goes. Down to 1900, 1500. That is going to be the Baron secured by Shun. And over the wall goes.
That cost you that fight. That cost you the Baron. He lost his flash too. So now they're not even going to have that for the next fight. So at the very least, they will be able to move towards soul points. So that is something for them if they can continue to wave clear through these next couple of minutes during that Baron buff. But I really like how BLG actually secure the Baron. Bin can tank it up forever, so they're not really...
For the next few minutes, as this Rift Scuttlet is going to be taken. Raptor a little bit in a rough spot. As now we've got Knight going between worlds, but he's in a rough position himself as Bin makes his way forward. There is the tidal wave as Raptor is out of there. My goodness, the damage is ridiculous, but On is going to get taken down. Raptor, sorry, Diablo getting excited. Shun in so much trouble. Look at this guy, he's just firing from everywhere on the map. A triple already for the young AD carrier. There's a Quadra making a penta for Diablo here at First Stand 2026.
Oh my God, Diablo with a penta to kick it off. That's the game.
That should be it. We were saying he should probably wait until that flash is available. Never mind. Let's just get a pentakill and call it a day from there, evening up the series to bring us to a best of 3 between BLG and B&K. And this is what we wanted to see from this young squad. As B&K, they came to play. Those sillies well and truly shaken out, and the Nexus is also going to be taken down here as well. Wasn't the greatest out of Vikla in the early game, but it is Diablo finishing it off. And B&K able to make their mark in this best of 5.
And this is just, it's beautiful to see them bounce back in that way. They got absolutely destroyed in game 1.
Yeah.
Some things were definitely going wrong in game 2, but they continue to stay proactive. They continue to look for plays, to look for aggressive moves. And they find an opportunity here to take him out. Lounge, what do you think about that penta in his early game?
Level 6 and you all in and they die.
Yeah,
that's how it works.
I
Otherwise,
can see
it's
that.
Pre-6,
Pre-6, I feel like it's such a bad matchup, though, that I'm always kind of
name a matchup that isn't a bad matchup into Seraphine Ash.
Well, I mean, a lot of the good ones are gone, right? That's kind of the issue here. You're also going to have the issue of
for B&K's chances.
And this is a big change for, oh gosh, that's not good.
Vikla may start his dying a little bit early this time around, wants to get it out of the way, and there is another first blood for Knight.
Diablo and Kellen with the push thus far, which is kind of at least to my expectation. And we'll see, you know, if they are going to be able to find this wraparound, though.
Oh, yeah, Shun making his way in. Viper looking a little worse for wear. There's the flash forward. They want to just try and kill him before this one even happens. The flash out of the way is now Viper able to be taken down here by Diablo. Avoids the turret. It is going to be a 1-for-1. But Diablo, I think, pretty happy with picking up the first one here for B&K.
No kidding. I mean, Viper has, I'm just going to say he's played horribly in these first 2 games, and now in the third as well. It feels like some pretty big mistakes. I mean, you think back to Ana's going to die.
Yeah, he's a Yumi. He doesn't.
His barrier.
Yeah, his barrier's already there. He canceled the auto attack, so that's not great. So he's dead.
Okay, well, he does base. They're going to try to make this go really long. He is there behind him.
Yeah, there's Paranoia. Flash comes on forward here as there is no ulti from Clear, so he couldn't get himself over the wall. So that's a 1-for-1. The safety of the turret. There's no kill, but it is still a lot of pressure put on here by BLG.
Yeah, and that is that level 6 advantage for On. He has the ult where Kellen does not. So even once they get the cleanse off Viper, there's no encore to come through. That meant that Diablo had to flash away. So a good bit of pressure in the enemy jungle. A pink there down on that bot side as well.
Oh, arrow connects from downtown. Paranoia comes through once again. It's Clear. He can't take the turret for much longer than that, but he doesn't need to as Raptor will take the last one, and down goes the Rumble. This time, the dive worked.
Diablo setting it up from downtown.
He was actually in the bottom lane. That was insanity.
Yeah, actually look behind me. I heard him yell out Kobe on the stage, and the rest is history.
Yeah, there we go. Beautifully done. That is going to be the first turret taken down as well. So BNK a lot more money, but now BLG to try and fight back. There's the Cyclone onto Diablo. He flashes out of the way. A great encore here from Kellen defensively as the final chapter comes down, but I don't know about that timing as Viper throws in his ulti as well, and now Clear comes in with a huge shield, but Knight's down as well. The charm is going to miss though, and Diablo is doing his very best to get out of the way of every ability thrown at him. And nothing.
Deep, right? They had taken the top lane tier 1, so they got first tower. He had pushed it all the way to the tier 2. He's going to be losing plates now. It is Vikla looking like he's going to go up and answer that. So there is a cost to this. Bin is going to get some money, but still, you get down towards the bot side, you get that dragon, that's going to feel nice.
Well, you got an exhaust down onto Raptor, who flashes out of the way. Over the wall goes Viper, though, and oh dear, the shutdown comes in. It's not a kill for the Zeri. It's on their terms that he's going to be able to win. So tempo going to be such a huge thing in this game. As Vikla, I don't know about that position as he flashes to get himself out of the way. There's a paranoia as they just turn it onto Raptor. Does have that shield. It's, oh dear, okay, that is a lot of damage as they go 1 for 1. Now the flash on in as Viper looking for it onto Diablo, but he has the shield. He had the barrier. And Kellen's able to pick up the kill. Now the cat doesn't have a friend anymore. There's a fight on the bottom side of the map as well. Picture
strong, but Viper just looking a bit out of sorts as Diablo just popped that barrier. They're going to try to run down
Maybe if you've got a name
Vikla.
that starts with V, it's just a bit of a rough day. As we can see, Vikla down the red carpet and will just be dead. On is going to steal that kill away. We're all about not giving kills over to the right people in certain circumstances. That's sort of how it's been going here. As BNK looking to try and answer here in this mid lane. It's a decent cross map as the extender beam not going to be enough to take down these minions, so it should be BNK able to open up the map here with this mid lane outer turret.
Yep, that is great. Going to be able to knock down another out of the fight. And Vikla, his positioning has not been perfect by any means. They're going to look for a dive.
Yeah, he may just be dead as the riposte does come on through, but it's not going to do anything at all. However, he has the ulti down. That is so many stacks, and that's a flash needed from Knight to get himself out of the fight. And Shun's going to be taken out. The revenge of Vikla has happened. And now Knight is going to have to try and get himself out of the enemy jungle.
Might be time to check your clocks because it's looking like it's the year of Vikla.
I'm looking at my calendar. We had a little bit of a moment at the beginning of the day, but it was just the wrong timing. Knight will be taken out. Raptor is able to finish that one off.
Yeah, Vikla used the reflect so early. I thought he was going to get killed for sure, but then Knight missed the charm.
So, Mountain Drake, it's going to be a Mountain Soul this game, and I think that if BNK managed to get a Mountain Soul, it might just be game over, because I don't know whether anyone... As the Rich Herald may just die again. Never mind, does manage to get a charge, but there's the final chapter. Not exactly doing too much of anything at all. Clear making his way in with the teleport. Let's see whether this wraparound is going to work as he finds a great flank angle, pushes the Wukong out of the way as the Q doesn't land from Vikla, but Knight is kind of out of this fight, and Clear is just kind of by himself and not taking damage.
Yeah, not taking damage, but not really doing any either. BLG do get pushed back, but it was the TP off Clear for really not much of anything.
Well, not yet anyway, as they're continuing to fight here. There's the all-out as Shun getting pulled back. The equalizer is fantastic as Raptor is just going to get taken down. The volley is hurting a little bit here, but it's BLG that draw first blood in the fight as Vikla gets in, finds the overwhelm to take down
The entire way around. And Diablo, though, as we're back to live. Looking for
my goodness,
1v2.
there's 3 people here, Diablo. What are we doing? That was crazy that this is happening. And in fact, Knight might check it, but this is gone.
It is gone. But we'll see the fight after because now they know, and BLG are coming, but Bin has his TP. They're going to go.
Yep, Extender Beam does come on down. As we do have a snare, that is going to hold them in position. Final chapter does come on forward as they're looking for the Wukong, but he gets stunned up, just destroyed by Vikla. And now, BLG also going to lose the fight. They get on in there. Knight takes so much damage as Diablo just shoots him. And yeah, they managed to take down the Ashe, but Diablo is not the main character this time around as it's a triple for Vikla. It happened. As now Clear, we were talking about his immortality. We do have a dragon up and available for BNK. That'd be Soul Point, and Double Mountain is already just so many stats to try and get through on this Cassante.
You know, next game, maybe he could ask Knight for a quick 1v1, get solo killed before the game starts.
That's an in-practice tool.
In-practice tool, exactly. That would be crazy.
That'd be the tactic. We'll have to let Vikla know. As Shun looking for a little bit of a wraparound, should be able to get into position as the equalizer is good from Bin. At the same time, the encore is also fantastic. It's another kill as Vikla goes godlike. They get into the backline. The Mel is taken out as it's a double for the Zeri and make that one a triple. Never mind. It doesn't matter how many mistakes you make. As long as you find your window to get that certification, it can work. As he does need to be a little bit careful here as the bottom lane are still alive. Bin needs to find some of these harpoons. Look, Diablo just wants to walk up. Yep. It doesn't matter the scenario.
His sidesteps have been so good. Sidestep a couple skill shots in a row there, but BLG retreating away into this tower are going to be able to knock that down. It was a great reflect from this one from Vikla. He got to reflect on the charm onto Knight. Knight got charmed up, got burst down early on. So even with that equalizer that looked pretty much perfect from Bin, this fight is just continuing. Equalizer is back.
Yeah, Equalizer does come down. It's not doing a whole lot.
Knight
his inner turret is also down. Kellen has to tank up the Prowling Projectile. Bin looking a little worse for wear, but gets that Flame Spitter onto Diablo. And now Knight is back like you were talking about, but so is Vikla looking to try and take down Bin. He just explodes at the start of this fight, but it's 2 for Knight. Just dashes after them and takes them down in what was the weirdest League of Legends I'd seen in a really long time. Now as Vikla continues the fight, there is a Foxy Lady for On to join with, and now back on over to Viper. His final chapter's up again. And now Shun looking for a little bit of an angle. 7 seconds on that Cyclone as you've got Raptor coming in. Does make them a little bit afraid as Viper gets himself back into position. And Raptor is the target they're looking for. He dashes over the Cyclone and Vikla does it again! Viper just explodes one more time! Same thing to be said though as the Mel is taken down, as this is one of the longest team fights I have ever casted in my life as they've respawned and they're back into it once again. This time it's Clear going all out against BL. Yep, that's a good way to do it.
He's got it, and Infinity Edge done for both the Diablo and Viper. Damage really has ramped up. Viper has not really looked very...
That's on cooldown. She's not going to be able to enter the fight, and then you kill everyone else. That is kind of the theory.
You can see Viper now on 5 to deal with for the charm. There's also the Mikhails now. It is going to be very difficult for Knight, and he has been struggling in this game.
Vikla doesn't have a lot of buttons left, but Viper once again goes in, and his health bar just evaporates. As there's the paranoia, you can see Raptor still looking for an opportunity. For the rest of BLG, they do collapse around their AD carry, but Clear just says no. Just kills Bin. In goes Shun, and just down to his GA immediately. BK just taking them down one after the other as finally Viper goes in. Finds one, but then Diablo stands his ground and murders him. On this time, he's not going to survive. And it's a multi-kill, a quadra for the Cassante of Clear.
Clear saw what Diablo did, what Vikla did. He wants to get involved too. How about a quadra for Cassante and a win for FEARX?
What the heck was that? Brilliant team fighting here from B&K. They'll take down this mid inhibitor once again. And one more time, it is just a waltz through the mid lane in order to take down the Nexus. B&K reaching match point in their first best of 5 of First Stand 2026.
What a way to do it, man.
Oh my, that's not how it's never been expected.
Bot gap, it feels like in this one. Diablo is playing so well. Vikla showing up huge after getting first blood at level 1. He comes back, was massive on the Mel, found so many big team fights. And BFX looking good here going in.
Just getting better and better as this series goes on. BLG going to need to change some things up. And we're going to do the same thing. Time to throw it over to the analyst desk to break that one down.
Look how low commitment they are. They saw Renata and they say, oh, you want us to fight? Well, that's funny. Just going to be able to press. Okay, so we are going to get Galio as the answer to LeBlanc. I like this. I like it even more. And it's like, what are they going to do? Flash into the cage? Like, you should be able to get out, but we'll see if Vikla...
Yeah, Vikla is going to channel the taunt here. It does taunt up the tree, but is now running the wrong direction. So I think it might be another First Blood scenario. This time going... Oh, never mind. Okay, Justice Punch. Vikla is wandering.
Buddy. Don't speak too soon.
He's wandering. Oh no, the sapling. Run! Run, Galio! Is it going to hit? It does. He's slowed down, and there is the twisted advance. A very delayed First Blood, but once again, Vikla is on the floor.
But Knight didn't even get an assist, so now you just call Jungle Diff.
Value.
Exactly.
That's the progression. He dies again, but not to his lane opponent.
It's the jungler's fault. Raptor, come on, bro. Knight didn't even get an assist. What are you talking about?
Wait, he just delivered Shun to the top lane, and now Clear is dead. What is that? Okay, and Bin is able to get himself out. Look to move away. Raptor and Vikla now looking for this Scuttle Crab at Knight in good position. Does dash on forward, finds some chains. We've got fights on multiple angles, though, as the Gnar comes through onto Bin. And now you've got Kellen roaming up as well. Let's see whether he can find himself an angle, as Raptor going to be the first target here for BLG. But the King's Tribute, the subjugation working out so well. Knight finally will be able to take him down.
Listen, it kind of feels like as long as Diablo is in a decent spot, you have a chance, right?
Is Diablo alive? Chance we have. Yeah,
exactly. That's the code.
Indeed.
Yeah.
And right now he is, but he's in this bottom lane. Let's see what he can make of this, though, as the Arc of Judgment comes down. Decent polymorph there from On, but I think he knows that he's going to be going down. Hostile takeover, not really working, though, and there's the Wild Growth onto himself. Viper now in a little bit of trouble. Convincing BLG to stop killing their side lane turrets is going to be their task.
It will. First Dragon going to be taken first and die, and lose the Maiden, so could be a bit harder for Viper, who I think has struggled to find space.
Well, Viper is looking for a little bit of an angle here. Aggressively uses the barrier as they look to try and get this Lulu out of there. The flash out with a flash forward from Diablo as he locks down the kill. The immediate trade, though, comes in as Knight says, no, this is World Championship.
Well, you have to convince him not only that, because we've tried that before, but you have to convince him it's like finals or something.
Whoa, that's a flash forward. There's the handshake as he finds the hostile takeover. Never mind, flash out from On to avoid that one as now the pillar comes in. Great Wild Growth as Raptor has to flash to get himself out of the way. Viper is still very scary. The Flash Wizard Advance comes in. The bailout, is it going to be enough? Yes, it is! As Knight is eaten by the Trundle, but the nature is grasping and they're looking to try and answer this one back. Viper with these ricochets is trying to take them out, and Diablo, he survives for a while but doesn't even get to the blast cone as BLG will answer.
BLG, you just started to think, oh my god, are they actually going to win the fight here? Vikla going back in on, but you got no one around you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, as Clear is going to show up, but he's back into Mini-Gnar as he turns up, and Viper is getting another kill. 2-1 and 2 now.
To do win the fight, and Bin going to be able to knock down a tower here, so nearly 4,000 is the gold lead now.
Well, now Knight is going to have to deal with this pillar. Let's see whether he's going to be able to keep himself alive, and they just kill him. He was trying to be a little bit tricky there, but we're going to have a look at it. He's going to keep hitting it, though.
I think you will be able to grab it, but Bin is coming as well, and Knight has no DP because he used it to try to get out.
I think maybe they want to find a team fight as a heroic entrance is going to deliver them in. That's phenomenal avoidance there out of Shun as Viper dashes his way back. He doesn't dash, he just wanders his way back. Doesn't have a whole lot of mana, though, is now Clear, looking to try and get himself out, and that is the Rift Herald going over to BLG. So like you said, speaking too soon can be dangerous. I'm going to wipe the egg off my face, and we will continue the game as B&K lose out on the objective, but they do not lose any of their players this time around.
Nope, they do not, and they will be able to knock down this tower here. BLG getting another outer. Bin is up towards that top side, and Vikla is basing. There's no TPs available, so top side tower is going to be gone as well. Knight is up there to cover, so is Shun. So that is all three outers now going to be claimed here in quick succession by BLG. About 5K now in the gold lead, and 3.5 until this next, as well as Polymorph, which can be so big with how aggressively Diablo likes to go. He will be in range of that.
Oh, there's a chain connecting onto Raptor. He gets a pillar down, though, as you can see Vikla making his way in. Distortion does get Knight out of the way, though, so he is going to be absolutely fine. It was a little bit of a bait attempt, you could imagine, out of Raptor there. They do manage to get the Subjugate out of him, but this outer turret is going to fall, and B&K going to take it.
So,
Diablo agrees. That's why he went back to change the build.
Wait, you can just do that? You can just get an Infinity Edge like that?
Well, Vikla did realize that he could leave via a flash, but Nature's Grasp is still going to connect, even though he buffered the Justice Punch very, very well. Still, this is a very sticky Maokai, and the Polymorph comes on down a very dead Galio now.
Tower, and will not be an objective bounty as that has fallen, but is going to be some more gold going into their pockets, trying to keep Clear relevant, because he's going to have to be able to answer Yorick eventually in these side lanes. Here's TP.
Yeah, BLG making their way up, going to leave Shelly in that bottom lane. She's the one that's split pushing now as Knight gets over. Looks for them distortion damage as Bin trying to get on in there as Shun. That Bramble Smash was massive. The Maiden, the only one hit by the hostile takeover as Shun not really getting a whole lot done with that Wild Growth thanks to On. As now Diablo doing his best to get the DPS numbers high, but the rest of his team are just getting obliterated. However, we're trying to make our way out is Vikla, but not able to heroically exit that one. The Winds of War from the grave helping out as now Diablo tries to stand his ground, but it does not work. And they just eviscerate them. BLG. A huge team fight towards the top side, and once again, there is a Baron waiting for them.
Right by the Baron. They're going to knock this down as well. That fight was a mess from BFX here. As Diablo, he got blast-coned over the wall. I'm not sure if that was intentional. It looked like they were kind of hesitating there. He got knocked away from his team. And then the hostile takeover from Kellen is thrown only at Bin, only hits the Maiden, when all of BLG were running up a tight corridor right to the side of him.
I feel like there was a better opportunity.
A sub 100 health before the heal came through. But at the end of the day, it is another BLG win here. They're going to grab the Dragon, move to Soul Point. And this one feels all but wrapped up for BLG, which would set us up. Take a breather.
There was a pit stop in there at some point.
Ouch.
All right, yeah. That's a lot of damage out of Viper as Kellen throws out the hostile takeover. Vikla trying to look menacing. That may keep his bottom lane alive, but maybe not for long as they do manage to avoid the Nature's Grasp. But yeah, clear not exactly so lucky.
He just flashed into the Nature's Grasp.
Yeah, kind of broke my brain.
I'm not sure if he was trying to...
As the inner turret will now be taken down. It is just clear that's dead, but the health bars were way too low. So BLG will be able to just push this one in.
Kind of like that movie, you know, watching a movie and someone sacrificed themselves and you're like, you all could have just left.
Yeah, like,
guys, why? like, no, I'll stay behind. Like, what
and
do
they
you mean?
spent
We have
15 minutes having the last conversation. It's like, dude, just get on the plane.
We can leave at any time. No one has to die here. No, I'll do it. I love you.
Oh, it's so dramatic.
Yeah.
All right, some of those are beautiful moments, though. Let's have a look, see whether BLG are going to have their moment as they look to push in a couple of lanes. Handshake is going to connect. That's decent, but the problem is there's not a whole lot of options here as Knight can just dash in with impunity. And Diablo, he's within kill range here. If Knight ever gets in range, that is just a dead Yunara, and then BNK's composition just falls apart.
It does, and we'll see if they're going to be able to find any way into this. It doesn't really feel like there's a realistic chance, though. They don't have any sort of real hard engage. I do think that the Renata has really struggled to find value. Clear going to try to look here for Viper.
All right, bit of a gargoyle delivery here as Vikla comes on in as well, but they don't find too much joy with the knockups as Viper is just kiting Clear out of the way, and he just dies. The wild growth is fantastic there as well as BLG front to back as they put them down again. It's a triple here, make it a quadra for Viper this time as he has finally arrived at First Hand 2026, and BLG will deliver us some silver scrapes, the very first best of 5, and we go the distance here as the Nexus will go down.
Absolute banger series, starting it off, your LCK, LPL, 5 games.
That's
We're
what we wanted
the
to see. And BLG looking absolutely incredible while they did it as well. Man, I don't even know what to expect now moving to the last game, because in a best of 5, Fearless makes things absolute insanity. And so first pick, whether you get it or not, is not one of these things that we're going to be debating as a big deal as we move into this game. It's about who has the most tools left in the shed. And so
whose year is it?
I think it's Vikla's year. It's Vikla's year. AD, is it Vikla's year, guys? It's the year of Vikla, right?
That's a no from me. That's a Shun's year.
Yep. So there's a lot of different angles we can go. This is flexible too. And Jace could even be mid.
Jace jungling?
Jace is mid. No, Jace is mid. So I think it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be Poppy jungle, Morgana support, Jace mid, and Camille top is what I'm thinking. But maybe Rakan cannot battle dance away, cannot get out to safety. And nice little grand entrance there from Kellen, well timed, and a good sidestep.
Yeah, avoiding that Peacemaker was kind of crazy. As there is a flash on forward as Diablo with the barriers trying to keep himself alive, lit on fire as they realize that they've just got to go all in if they're going to win this. But there's first blood! Diablo saves Vikla!
On the roam.
With a Randuin's in hand as well, which is kind of fun. Bubble is going to connect onto Shun as Battlestar lands as well. Heroic charge though, and yeah, he's gonna have to get out of there. Gets shielded up, the double battle dance, and he gets out! That's not the Vikla I know, but Raptor is going to pick up his mantle.
Going bad
there. Is it getting better, is it? Is it going to get better? Well, hookshot comes on forward. Lightning Rush is not going to save Clear here as he will go down. There is the answering kill though, as On is going to be taken out by Raptor. All right. Let's, Raptor. Gonna face check, and there is a shock blast from Bin as well. Flash out, decent, avoids it to the skies. But once again, On is here, and this time Knight is gonna be the one to take down the kill. Raptor is going to be secured, and BLG continuing to be in the lead. as far as these kills are concerned, but the fighting is just not ceasing.
Nope, and Raptor, you know, he's bringing the camps to Shun. He is the camp at this point. Shun does not want to fight, and he is not going to have to.
All right. Kellen gonna have to flash to get himself out of the way, but the heroic charge is going to be there, and Shun just lays the lollipop down. Game for a little while. Trying to keep her down is going to be very, very important. Is Q going to connect there on to on? There's the bubble as well. Steadfast presence is pretty good. The Battlestar goes wide though, and now Diablo doing his best to keep the damage up. There's the knock-up, but the follow-up just isn't there. On still ticking. One last one not going to be enough as Knight is able to take down Raptor. Shun limping his way out as well.
But allowing him to bully this lane.
Yeah, Kellen is going to turn up and at least try to protect Clear for the moment, but the grand entrance is avoided. He flashes in. Bin is going to die, and that was probably a mistake. But I do like the vibe, you know, the idea, the gusto. Yeah, Kellen's now really dead. On's going to be able to lock down that kill. And keep coming here from BLG. Even though B&K pretty happy to have another kill on the board.
Yeah, they are very happy to be gifted that kill by Bin. That was crazy. I think he could have even just walked back. I don't even know if he had to flash back in that case.
Yeah.
But instead, he tried to flash over, and I don't know if he was trying to make a big
He did
outplay.
successfully flash over the grand entrance.
He did, and now he's going to be able to force out the TP because they had delayed the base there, so Clear has to TP back to base as he sees Bin coming in from the side. But yeah, I'm not sure if that was a mistake or something he was trying to go for an outplay, flash over, and then one-shot Clear. Maybe that's what he was kind of thinking in his mind. But Clear has ulti, and you're going under the tower, so you're just going to get CC'd up. The wave gets cleared out, and he does get taken down. But still, it is an over 2,000 gold lead.
Well, now a teleport towards this bottom side of the map as Knight is going to be showing up. There is the snap trap as Kellen able to survive here as well. In goes on, but
there. And BLG going to take a dragon as the prize on the other side. Again, it's that first dragon, so we're not looking for
BLG. And I think already this is a composition it's strange. It feels like a very Game 5 of Fearless type draft. Oh my goodness, Kellen's just dead.
Yeah, he got locked down by that CC.
Oh no, it's not a time to get sleepy, Bin, as the Battlestar comes on forward. And the auto from Vickler is going to be enough to take him down in the end there. So Bin going to be building some stuff in the base.
Yep, and Bin is behind him, but both junglers are here.
Yeah, there's the Slicing Maelstrom one more time. Let's see whether Kellen can get here in time as the ulti misses from Shun, and that is going to be the end of Bin. Clear goes in, finds it. There's the quickness as well. As the trouble bubble comes down, everyone's joined as Vickler dashes forward and finds the angle. Knight trying to do what he can as he's got the tether out, but Raptor gets out, breaks those chains, goes back in and destroys him. Viper, though, he's going to be able to find some pot shots as On will knock them all out, and Raptor looking for that angle, but Viper just shoots him. A gun is going to be the answer here as Kellen going to have to make his way out.
Nice initial play there from FEARX, but BLG are able to respond to it. Diablo is pushing down on bot side. They're trying to get something else here, but Viper just got paid. Is going to be able to knock down this tower. Will be first tower. All that gold going into Viper's pockets. He's now, and yes, Kellen is trying to peel Viper, but Viper is largely uncontested. He's walking forward. He's autoing. They just don't have the spells. They don't have the cooldowns to actually really threaten the Caitlyn at this point. So you won the early part of the fight, and someone made an oopsie.
Yeah, I think Shun just, is it? Oh, we didn't even see! As Kellen going in and tries to get himself out. He is going to be successfully able to do that. On is dead as Knight, one more shot will do it. That deadly flourish wasn't enough, but it is going to be the shutdown over to Vickler. Immediately that one's answered though, as B&K are finding it. It's Viper that's down. Shun is just going to evict Raptor, but Clear is still here.
Mikhail's, so that is going to be ready and really powerful. Shun going to drop the Battle Herald.
Yeah, let's see whether Shun can actually steal this one away, as he's not going to be able to do that, but On goes in, finds the Hextech ultimatum, and now Shun is going... But On's already dead, and
himself, so a little bit more mobility to be able to, either dodge a skill shot or to get in there on these fights.
As Hextech ultimatum comes down, as On is underneath the outer turret in mid lane. He is going to die, but he takes Diablo with him. Now Clear looks for the angle. They do take another kill, as now Clear is trying to find even more. The Sonic Wave doesn't quite land, but that W did so much work out of this cannon. Viper is going to be able to take him down in the end, as Vickler needs to do what he can. Viper finally will fall, but not before picking up a triple kill. And Vickler always had to go back to that portal jump, so Bin is going to put him in the ground. And BL BLG, the last team standing in that one.
Yeah, it's an ace at the end.
B&K need to be fighting around windows where they land a trouble bubble, get a pick, something like that. They're looking for a pick here on Tonight, but he has that black shield. There's the tether as well. Shun's going to make his way in. Doesn't quite get the stun onto Kellen, as now they look for it. There's the slicing maelstrom from Clear, but he's likely to go down, as it's the Caitlyn in once again, and the consistent damage that we were talking about is Viper in this game. He picks up a double, and I think he heard the people talking about the first 3 games of this series, and he is looking absolutely fantastic in this one. 8-3-3.
And that could very well be Baron. Are they going to start it? They're not going to elect to just yet. I mean, they killed Raptor and Clear had no TP, so I thought they might have looked for it, but they want Vikla.
Yeah, that is Ace in the hole coming on down. Vikla is very dead, ladies and gentlemen. Over the wall goes on, and that is Viper able to grab that pod shot to make it 9-3-3.
I mean, he's going to have an E on base, so that is incredibly difficult to deal with. It's Hextech Soul that would be on the table. This is just their second Dragon. I don't even know if we're going to get there, but he's over 4,000 gold ahead individually. We're 21 minutes in. He's going to base. He's going to have IE, and he's going to be on his way to the next item there, where you're going to start seeing defensive items coming through, luxury items coming through.
Unfortunately.
Much to the LCK fans' dismay.
Indeed. Well, Kellen possibly caught out here. Does have the quickness in order to get himself out, but Viper is absolutely on a rampage.
One fight has to be, the best possible opportunity you can find.
Well, this inner turret is not long for the world. That will be taken down. Some Deadly Flourish poke is coming on through. But
so they are spotted in the area. I don't think there's any chance they can actually steal this away. They just don't have any damage, right? Like, who's going to kill the Baron, even if you go for a Baron sneak?
Does go a little bit wide there momentarily, but Shun just kind of by himself is a wall that B&K cannot get past.
He's level 15. He is higher level than Vikla, and he is not threatened.
Hextech Ultimatum does come down, and I think that on, no, never mind, not going to die, just going to take a nap. And
that's one shot.
Yeah.
One auto onto Vikla, and he loses half his health.
Well, on going in once again as Kellen, speaking of, yeah, he is just very dead. Shouldn't going to be able to help lock down that one. Shock blast.
This is where they draw the line in the sand.
Let's see whether they can find the angle. The Raptor's not going to be able to get here, so they're not going to be able to steal this one away. That is going to be the Poppy locking it down.
It's just going to be a given up soul. Not even going to try to contest, but now it is going to be Hextech Soul. It's Baron. It's 10K in the lead. So by the time they actually take a fight, I just think there's not going to be any fight to have, everything is going to be finished as far as these luxury items, as far as these defensive items are concerned.
Well, it is feeling like a priceless moment here for BLG as they do hit that coveted soul. Out goes on as well. He is going to be able to keep himself alive. I just don't see there being much of an angle to get back into this one for B&K FEARX, unless there is some sort of miracle. That inhibitor did not last very long at all.
Kelvin almost got one shot by a Caitlyn auto. He lost about 90% of his health.
Yeah. Headshot rapid fire cannon combo is just kind of absurd when it does come on through. Shun just clearing out all of the vision here as well. Even the turrets just dead. Vikla, speaking of which.
Yeah, I mean, they just, whoa, that was actually close.
That scared me a lot.
They just can't even walk forward. They're just giving up everything. I mean, you can't give up every tower, everything, though, and expect to really have a shot. But there's not really a clear way in. They have no vision. I mean, look at the map. There's no wards at all. They have nothing on the map, so they have no way to go for a TP, and you cannot win a fight where you're walking straight at them. Just look at these shot blasts. It's crazy.
Well, Clear is looking for an angle here, but Vikla is very dead. And there's the Dark Binding connecting. Clear in by himself. And will be able to do a bit of damage, but I don't think he's killing anyone. As the rest of B&K, they try their very best. Diablo stays alive, but he's the only one able to post that as Raptor is going to get caught. Tries to do some funny business in order to get himself out. But I think that was the last gasp here for B&K FEARX. And BLG, in 5 games, will be able to take the first best of 5 of this tournament and look to continue on in the upper bracket. It's not the last you've seen of B&K FEARX, but it was a long one. They made sure that BLG fought for it, but it will be the LPL first seeds taking the first series, the first stand 2026.
BLG get it done at the end of the day here. Very dominant final game, very dominant first game.
Yeah.
Some speed bumps along the ride, though, for them in the middle.
Just watch the ends, and you'll be like, oh yes, this is the BLG that I was expecting.
It's like a sandwich where the bread is the best part.
Yeah, exactly. And look, that just means you're really good at making bread. I think that's absolutely
Exactly.
fine. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you put
Excellent bakers in the LPL.
Yeah,
and first seed gets the job done, but I will say it won't inspire confidence against a potential Gen G matchup down the line. Lounge, what do you think?
You say speed bumps, potholes maybe, a lot of them.
That was wild. That was wild. That was the best series I've seen at first hand. And I don't care that it's the first one. Honestly, amazing series, amazing showing from BFX here. But God, the resilience from BLG clutching it at the end.
Also, super cool draft that came out with all the flexes. Couldn't really sure where it was going. And then playing Rakan, Lee Sin into Morgana, Poppy, Camille, that just didn't seem like a good time, and they didn't have a good time really in that game.
It was very rough to play against, and we got to see On's Camille. That one was a good one. But
counters, and he's going for a more like nullifying style counter in this one. So wow, G2, I mean, they're tanky flowers.
Oh yeah,
G2's got a pretty beefy tanky team here, and it does have burst potential down there in the river. They're trying to look out for any extra aggressive moves from the Xin, but here is the overall record of these two teams, as bottom lane is scrapping pretty heavily flowers, but we can safely go over.
Oh, maybe we can. On is not very safe anymore. Hansama tries to flash, following Viper, wants to slow him down, but his first blood over to G2, and the root hits
for him, but there are so many opportunities to find kills in this game with so many laners flashes being down.
Well, you've pointed out, hey, this is a test of your ability to
making it suck for Broken Blade more than it's supposed to suck.
Okay. He's leveling it up.
Yeah, he's doing quite a good job.
Ooh, Cap's in some danger now, though. Here comes the taunt into the 3 Talon strike. Shun providing some help there tonight, and the winds of war will blow down
the Grub's pit, though, and at least get some objectives here for G2, given the fact that BLG already got the early dragon. He wants to slip in here and get something back.
Yep, and he's got Broken Blade up there as well. The state of the top lane perfectly favors G2 being able to secure all 3 of the grubs. So Skewmond will complete that. Broken Blade hanging around just to make sure nobody is in the area. Draft this champion, and now Caps won't have that opportunity for the next 5 minutes. Taunt flash coming in from On. Here's your heroic entrance, but Knight is just a little bit too late there. Their opponents were able to get away in time, but Broken Blade with the solo kill in top lane.
A large chunk of HP. They're still on the dragon.
Okay, but On and Viper are nearby. So is Knight. Dredge line onto On as the Ocean Drake is already secured. Now BLG's got to try to get away. Defensive taunt from On, but Viper is in the wrong side of the map. Shun with the wind becomes lightning into the audacious charge. Looking to put some damage onto Hansama. On still staying alive with about 200 HP. LeBron is low, but G2 is fine. Dawning Shadow fired into the BLG health bars. BLG wants something, but they can't get anything back. G2 find another kill and the dragon.
All right, they're just on fire right now, Flowers. Wait a second, Caps, though, he does not have flash, so Knight wants to mess around.
Knight lands the taunt there onto Skewmond as he goes in. Shun still following behind his mid laner as On arrives here with the stand united. That's what I said earlier, Kobe. That G2 fan jumped up out of his seat. He was excited. Bonk. I love the crowd here in Brazil, man. Has been scrapping with Broken Blade yet again. Keeper's verdict. Only the point blank range, but he sidestepped away from the ultimate. Public execution doesn't hit, but it doesn't matter. Broken Blade's already dead as Shun wants to make it a second. Drake of the game spawns. Bin has control. He has priority and push in the top lane. So that means it's difficult for Broken Blade to try to rotate and respond to this. It's a free Herald for Shun. Now there's no arrow on the Ash. Now the dragon is already alive. Cap's coming around. He has the flash available here for the Tibbers if G2 wants to try to fight. But no, it's On driving the Herald, a combat Rift Herald, going in to knock down the tier 1 turret, and now he goes in for the taunt right after. Skewmond's the only one who gets caught, but the heroic entrance is ready to follow up. Shun wants a little more, but G2 disengages in time. Tibbers dies. BLG will take the dragon, they'll take the turret right after, and Mr. Kobe, they've taken a nearly 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, Bin took Broken Blade's life while they were taking the dragon, and he's going to take the tower on top side afterwards too. So, yeah, BLG accelerating pretty quickly here.
First from the G2 squad is BLG waiting for now. G2 starting up the Drake. On goes in for the taunt, but Broken Blade's steadfast presence is going to block it. A little bit of damage comes out from Viper. Capped with the defensive Tibbers. G2 scrambling to try to defend themselves as Shun jumps into the middle, and now Bin has joined the battle, and Skewmond is already down. They continue charging forward, and BLG wants more blood. Shun chasing after Cap. Viper flashes away to stay alive, and the Brav is going to be the sacrifice. Shun dies to Broken Blade. as it's 1-for-1, and it's both the junglers, Kobe. The Dragon's still on the map, and there's nobody with Smite still standing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they got so split in that fight. It does end up being 1-for-1, so G2 gets some gold back, but it's still going to be Dragon number 3 and setting up BLG for Soul. Coming in 5 minutes.
Looks like they might be looking to make a move towards Knight here as Broken Blade tackles him into the wall. Caps and Skumond both coming in to follow up. Knight tries to get away, but a nice stun from Caps locks him up before he makes it over to the Blast Cone. Yeah, he gets away from Skumond, but he walks right back in towards the other two, and Skumond takes charge
and ensures that the extra members of G2 can get that kill.
Ooh, On finding himself taking a little bit of unnecessary damage here. He flashes, going for Mortal Reminder for Viper as the third item. Not only are you going to cut the Senna healing, but you're going to really reduce the effectiveness of that Protoplasm harness on the Bronze Nautilus. As now Broken Blade throws out the Keeper's Verdict. They want to try to burst On down. However, here comes the hero's entrance to reinforce. On just barely lives with about 50 HP. He had to make sure he stayed away from the dredge line. There's Shun with the defensive ulti here too. BLG forced away by G2 and LeBron have all used flashes on the G2 side.
Exactly, and that's what you're looking for leading up to the Dragon.
TP coming in as Broken Blade joins up with the rest of G2. On looking to be the first one into the scrap here. Steadfast Presence isn't going to block anything immediately. On tackled back into the wall. LeBron taking a ton of damage. Wind becomes lightning. Shun's creating space here with the ulti, but LeBron is still alive. The Winds of War claim his life as Knight's going to be taken low and he's taken out. Tibbers is making a little bit of space, but in goes Bin. Down goes Broken Blade. Caps is the one who gets the kill credit on Knight, but the Wind becomes lightning, finds the Annie. Bin's got to be careful here. Han Sama still has a lot of left, but there's your public execution. Bin's going into the middle of everybody. Ambessa tears G2 apart. Triple kill for the BLG top laner.
Oh, Bin puts him in the dumpster, Flowers. What a turn from Bin's Ambessa.
He put him in the dumpster. He took him out to the curb. Beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep, boop. He called the garbage collection company early because Bin is having no more of it. BLG with a crazy play from their top laner.
G2 father showing it. He's got a QSS, Flowers.
Oh my goodness, he is just, he's out of control. All right, it's a 7,000 gold lead, plus an Infernal Soul, plus Baron for BLG. G2 have got to make a miraculous defense here at this point. All 5 grouped up, Dredge line hits Shun, immediate defensive Zen ulti in response. Gonna stop G2 from going any further forward right now. Shun's gonna pop the Blast Cone just so it can't interfere if any fights do break out. Han's Broken Blade and LeBrob trying to defend this. Caps answering Knight over in the mid lane here at the same time. Baron empowered cannon minions, 2 of them continuing to chip away at this turret HP. BLG on the push. Another volley hits, and the volley is so nasty with the Infernal Soul, Kobe. It feels like it doubles the damage of the thing, as there goes the tier 3 turret in the bottom lane. Pressure continues over in mid. LeBron's just gonna die. Bin, legendary, 8 kills here on the Ambessa. Tibbers was used. There's no way now for them to have that big initiation. Broken Blade and the rest of G2 trying to defend, but they have to do it 4v5 for the next 30 seconds. I don't even know if BLG is going to give them the chance. Those 2 cannon minions, still the artillery power of BLG, putting the pressure onto the turrets. Broken Blade stepping forward, trying to create some space, buy a little bit of time, but he's down below half HP. It's very, very dangerous, even for the tanky Poppy. The cannon minions will take out that first next. Is putting in so much heavy lifting in game number 1. Viper with a nice arrow onto Caps. There's your taunt flash from On to follow it up. Defensive Tibbers isn't going to matter. The Bear's going to get removed from the Rift immediately. And now with the mid laner dead for 45 seconds, you have to think this is the game-ending push here for BLG. Viper might be below half HP, but he's already got a Guardian Angel. BLG looking to take the fight now. Skumon into the back line with the Dawning Shadow over the top. Viper is dropping low, but the GA is still there. Shun retreating back to stop the divers from G2. On dies to Han Sama. Shun is still low. Resurrection's going to come out onto Skumon through his own Guardian Angel. Broken Blade escapes off to the side, but Skumon is down. They continue going forward, and Han Sama is caught. G2, this is their last gasp in game 1. Knight takes the kill on the Brav. BLG has a 5v1. There's nothing Broken Blade can do to defend it. That Nexus is not long for this world. Can they get the ace at the very end, right on the steps of the fountain? I believe they can. Ace for Bin and BLG. Game 1 goes their way.
Huh. Flowers, I wonder who people will vote for player of the game.
I do not know, Kobe. I am truly perplexed.
I truly am confused and wonder, analyst-esque, what do you think?
Don't care. Didn't ask, guys. I'm tired of this Bin guy over and over again. Every international event, he's adding I'm starting on Europe, later his book collection. Like, guys.
But you've got a good, that's a good couple picks there, Flowers.
I would feel pretty strong supporting this, right? So yeah, it's a massive, massive wall.
Yeah.
And you were talking about Knight's deep pool of champions, Knight Syndra, one of his most
to them. So some really good value there, and they actually forced the recall out of Lebrov really early on. They forced the heal, and now they're gonna force more.
They go after Hans Sama, the flash away from Hans, but the flash follow from On. It'll be a 1-for-1, but it is first blood over to BLG. They're going to kill Hans off. They're going to get this wave shoved up forward. Skumon's coming around down bottom, though, and if they get this kill onto Viper, that's gonna feel really good. Viper is in some danger now, and surely there is no way out for this Sivir. Just going to walk into the turret, and Skumon even flashes to make sure he's the one who gets
for him to get it, but you know, they're under tower aggro, and the tower is already heating up. On, though, might die again.
Yeah, On is in a pretty precarious situation. Has to try to get away from Caps and Lebrov, as the Aurora only needs one more shot to take him out. Scatter the Weak tries to make the distance, but the twofold Hex finds its mark. G2.
Comet Spear hope that Skumon this time with a smite or something, but it doesn't look like this is really a fightable angle for the BLG side, and the Dragon goes the way of G2 here, nice and early with that Gnaw.
Yeah, been doing quite nice. Ooh, gets the wave and some damage.
Feels good about that, and here comes Shun. This is another one of those ultis, just like the Shen ulti in game number 1. Pantheon's Grand Starfall needs to find success on first usage. Otherwise, you're feeling pretty bad, and there they go. Meanwhile, back over in the mid lane, On could be the point of contention here for Shun. So we're actually seeing the exact opposite story of the junglers in terms of objectives from game number 1. One gets the Dragon 5.5 minutes into the game. The other one gets a handful of consolation grubs a couple minutes later.
Plus, bonus, buy 3, get 1 Broken Blade free. Because you have to count.
Ooh, that's a deal.
Yeah, you got to count that kill that they got onto the Scion as part of the painting. No teleport, so it should just be a G2 Dragon. Oh, wait a second, some pings? Do they actually? There were a lot of blue pings here from BLG.
However,
is he just going to cross, though?
Caps,
he's waiting Caps teleport. He's waiting Caps teleport.
Down here in the bottom side, it's Lebrov just getting bursted down. The patience from BLG's jungler out onto the map now. Skumon's Mundo does have his Heart Steal completed, so wants to try to get some stacks on that one. On, however, down to about half HP, immediately going to pop the Unbreakable Will, the burst down onto the Mundo, but it's not what BLG wanted. Skumon is tanking all the way through it with a maximum dosage, but Shun finally secures the kill. Broken Blade arrives to the fight for the Chains and Corruption, won't find a target. Shun does die. Viper looking for the damage here on the Cap. Lebrov wants to get away, but Bin picks him up. Broken Blade needs a blast.
BLG at the Drake and continue stacking.
And you see part of that individual gold lead disappear there for Hans over Viper because Viper was the last player on BLG. G2, if they can secure it, Bin's going to go ahead and take his recall as Skumon has started up the Dragon with the rest of G2 right behind him. BLG going to bring Bin right back into the fight now as Shun takes about 40% of his HP in damage. G2 should just be able to secure the objective, and they've got it. But now On wants to use that Combat Herald. He knocks the CC immunity off of the Mundo, but Bin gets stopped trying to jump in. Meanwhile, On's behind enemy lines. There's no way he survives this. Shun, Knight, and Viper chasing after the tanks on G2. Never mind, I'm made a liar. On gets away. Nicely done from the support. But the big winners in this scuffle are G2, who have secured soul points. It doesn't look like we're done here just yet. They know Bin has no Narvar. They're looking to go in after the most fed member here on BLG. But a nice punch from On knocks them away. The Alistar's barely hanging on, and Skumon grabs the kill. Dr. Mundo's trying to get out, and he lives to see another day. Everybody on G2 still alive. Low health bars on BLG here as well, though. Lebrov gets chunked by a Boomerang Blade. Shun dodges away from the Comet, smites down the Crab. Knight finds a Scatter the Weak, but it's only onto the Scion. Caps has his ulti back up, but no! It's Bin! It's Bin! Time and time again, it's Bin! Shun wants another one. Lebrov tries to escape. Shun with a defensive shield. And BLG, right when it looked like G2 found a sequence that was so favorable, there was so much in their side. It's Bin, man. It's always Bin.
It has been the on low health as Mundo. So G2, they found value out of their poke. But again,
as it spawns, the Gnar flash will still have a little bit of time.
left on the cooldown, as will the Mundo. On goes in, flash into the pulverized, headbutt backwards onto Caps. The Aurora's already dead, as Bin's in the middle of everybody. Knight staying alive against Broken Blade, and Bin is just buying time. Now both of that front line, both those solo laners are dead on the G2 side. It's a double kill for Shun's Pantheon, and right when G2 needed a clutch, BLG and on that trigger pull find exactly the way to guarantee that they can't.
Woo, BLG have 2 excellent solo laners as well.
The X factor for the G2 side. You still have an individual gold lead on Hansama. You've got the Muramana.
Oh, this could be big.
Bin gets caught. Yeah, nice pick. G2 to find additional kills. Maybe translate that into a major objective with the Baron afterwards. But BLG successfully exfiltrates. Now though, Shun going in after Labrov. Wants some damage onto the Nico defensive Pop Blossom. But it just means the weak are scattered. Bin's made his way into the fight now, but he's down to 400 HP. On jumps forward, but there's nobody ready to follow up just yet. Viper's now finally joined the mix, as Bin has the Narbar charge, and Hansama is all the way out. Only the front line still stands on G2, but the wall has no archers. They will crumble.
Bin, we just have to keep this play going. We have to chase them. As long as we don't let them out of our sight, we continue the play.
A little bit less than 1 minute on the Baron to try to continue pressuring the lanes, but again, the Dragon Soul is avoided.
Even though Knight is, well, it doesn't matter if you're close, because just the early dragons, the individual ones, don't give you a lot of power. It's all about finishing the job, finishing the soul, and BLG has said, nope, you're not going to be able to even get close to the next dragon.
It's a 7,000 gold lead for BLG, as G2 have to try to find some way to bring it back. But Bin's going in after Caps. He tries to escape, but Viper's already got him. It's both carries dead on G2. It's a massacre in mid lane. Labrov and Skumon get away, but with the carries already down, what is even the play here for G2? BLG are just going to hard force it down mid, and that's a 5-man push. You've got 2 tanks and support Nico to try to hold on to the Nexus for the next 25 seconds. Knight preparing the orbs, minion wave marching up. There's no Baron, but they have so much damage. Viper is on 3.5 items. Defensive pulverize coming out from On as Broken Blade tries to step forward, but now he's the one who's going to be scared. Knight gets the execution there with the unleashed power, as Broken Blade's dead body's not going to be able to clear enough here just yet. Nico ulti does nothing. Shun is low, but he will not die. Skumon tries, Skumon dies. BLG, they take out the remaining 3 as the carries finally respawn. Shun's still at about 400 HP, and they need another minion wave. It's Caps and Hans versus the BLG 5, as Caps has to try to get back to the fountain. So much damage coming in, he will escape back to the steps, but it's the Nexus turrets that they've got to be afraid of. Scatter the weak onto 2 yet again. BLG are just trying to pad their stats at this point. Ulti does nothing from Caps. That's another BLG win. They are on match point in this best of 5.
Woo! G2 have not been able to beat BLG at an international Riot tournament yet. And BLG say it's probably not going to happen today either.
I feel like this one is, there's more options for who might be player of the game. For me, I think I've got to go Shun with that Pantheon, making so many plays, following up on so many plays. Lounge, what do you guys think?
I think it's pretty cooked for G2 right now.
Honestly,
I gotta.
Let's see, this is looking real scary, because obviously G2 are trying to kite back, you know. They've got Melio on their team. They're trying to kite back and use Caitlyn range and use the protection there. And, you know, his Caps is going to go the Ahri into Knights of Kali.
Ooh, Labrov takes a ton of damage there. Cozy Campfire keep him alive, but it's first blood to On. Skumon nearly walks through. He's attending the funeral of his support and nothing more. And Viper gets another one.
Back it up.
It's G2 blood splattered all over the bottom lane. It's a disaster.
You can say that again, Flowers.
It's a disaster! Now Skumon as well. Shun's taking up the turret. He flashes away and he won't even die in return. G2 bottom lane that's been their point of power while the games are close. It has been Hans and Labrov.
What's up, buddy?
Being the ones trying to keep them competitive, but now Viper and On have this advantage. Hansama's down to 300 HP. The Caitlyn, the lane bully, has been kicked out of the playground.
He got like beat up on the playground before he got kicked out. It's like, you know, On and Viper. Wait a second.
They just put him in jungle gym jail, man.
They're going to dive here. Scumondo's here.
Oh, but Shun is coming down, and Viper hasn't gone all the way back.
Oh.
On just having a little supportal combat here with Lebrov. Wave about to crash into the turret. Ultra Mega Fire Kick does land onto On. He uses the Glitter Lance of the Polymorph to buy himself a little bit of time. The Shield 2. G2 is on full tilt. It is so far gone. 2,500 gold lead. They feel so desperate to make something happen after the early disaster, and now the forced plays are resulting in even more damage. Knight goes in, he gets
big old BLG lead, right?
big old bin.
Yeah, well, you know, Knight also had a good big old laning lead with the Syndicate.
We got some big old boys here on BLG.
He's gonna stop again.
Strong,
Okay, yes sir,
man.
he is.
Yep.
Knight's just,
Okay, buddy.
What? This is,
Okay, he's so good. He's so good, and Viper's going forward. He wants to kill onto LeBron. Arc of Ruin for the slow. Conway's step moves him forward, and Viper picks up kill number. Become that massive crocodile. Scumond is going to grab the grubs, and this is the first thing that G2 have found this. Oh no.
got one, he got one.
Okay, all right. He got
Singular.
Grub. Okay, G2 have found Grub. The G stands for Grub.
Yeah.
However, the 2 stands for what BLG is going to get.
The 2 stands for 1.
Yeah. The 2 stands for 1. The G stands for Grub. G2 is Grub 1. It's a very complex naming system.
Yeah, you would. Gold.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
It's like one of those fancy salt shakers at the restaurant where you turn the thing yourself.
Exactly.
It's like that, sort of.
Oh, we should position that now.
Okay, if G2 wins this, it will be one of the greatest comebacks in League of Legends. Sante
And then
goes
they go
all
on.
out. Broken Blade looking for the 1v1 against Bin. The Croc with the dominance, though, Ruthless Predator. And as soon as it looks the ulti, he wants to make sure he can get the Chomp to follow it up. See how well it works.
Speed troll.
Speed troll. I like that. Scumond, he goes for the Pillar of Filth onto Viper, and Viper says, okay, cool, I guess I'll just stay on this side of the pillar. That's fine.
I mean,
the ulti.
They 2v3'd the G2 bottom lane and jungler, so Viper's like, I mean, I'm more rich now than I was then. I could 2v3 your mid laner and your jungler and your support as well, and take the tower in your face while I'm doing it.
Well, I mean, his ulti's called Transcend Oneself, but I feel like in this game it should be called Transcend Yourself, because as soon as he pops it, anybody looking at him just dies.
Oh, this happened in the bottom
yeah, we
lane, too.
completely missed
this.
this.
Also did happen.
Yeah, we completely missed this. That's just exactly what you would expect to happen from Fedakali with Gunblade and Tier 3 boots from Quest going up against Caitlyn that barely has Collector.
All right, that too, yeah.
Lebrov. I actually think...
Yeah, he was not scared at all.
Yeah.
I'm
no,
going,
his...
honestly, on. Yeah.
You could cut steel with that Lulu's jawline.
Hell yeah.
Pure Chad behavior in the lane. As now Broken Blade's going to try to go in. Does find an angle here onto Viper, but Sean's into the back. Finds Cyclone onto 3. Broken Blade still going after Viper. Rampage for Knight. Viper getting away for now. But Broken Blade finally puts a kill on the board here for G2. As Sean might just get picked up. Shutdown goes over to Caps. Knight finishes off Broken Blade. And honestly, this might be a fight still favoring G2. Ultimate Fire Kick. G2 just got a 3 for 2 as Bin finally arrives to the fight. It was a 4v5, and that's what G2 needed to have a chance to make something happen. Knight and Bin still looking for more. Yup.
They stopped dying a bunch. Well, they also still kept dying some, but...
Oh boy, Bin down here in a 1v2 in the bottom lane. Caps chasing over the wall, has the Spear Rush, Pillar of Filth for the slow. Ace of the hole coming around. Bin shut down by Caps on the Ahri. And G2 are ready to punish. That's the only way you can come back into this game. The BLG gets a little too wild, and you bring him back down to earth. It's still a 6,500 gold lead. It's still sole point for the BLG side. Shin goes in, but the Ultra Mega Fire Kick means he doesn't find exactly what he wants here just yet, but the Wild Growth means Caps is dead. Scumon wants to get away as Knight goes after Lebrov. He's dominating. 3 kills for G2, and it's just that tough, man. They're so far behind that even when they do find these picks, BLG just strikes right back and gets even more. Right back up to an 8K gold lead. Hans is just trying to stay alive. Meanwhile, where's the Herald going? Okay, it's going up to the top side. Viper's just going to kill the turret normally here in Tier 3 mid. Tier 2 up in the top lane dies. Viper is just farming play.
Make a path back to base.
Sometimes that's the path you need to take. The path home. Broken Blade, once again, just trying to move forward here, but it's Viper. ready to DPS him down. Broken Blade, Pathmaker defensively getting away. Tier 2 turret just gets bulldozed, man. No cozy campfire is going to keep that one alive as BLG dives.
We've got 1 minute on the Hex Tech Soul.
Yeah, that's scary. Wait a second. Hold on. We have no minutes on Skewmon, as Knight might actually just try to turn this. Oh, the charm right there to stop him as he wanted to go forward with the R2. Cap survives, and that's the outplay. That charm was perfect to join the fight. That could be important. Remember that when G2 won a team fight earlier, it was because it was a 5v4. Bin wrapping around behind. He's going to use his sweeper to find the war. Bin has been spotted. Knight has made his way towards the fight now, though. And Shun, alongside Viper and On, are going to go ahead and start up the Dragon. They are forcing G2 to answer them. They don't want to walk into the EU squad. As now Shun jumps forward. Skewmon's going to be your first target. Viper just burning him away, while Bin and Knight have found their way into the backline. Hansama's going to be your first target. Shun is almost dead. He's about to die. Hansama falls, but so does On. The jungler's out of the way. G2, they stop the soul, but Bin and Viper are still fighting. Broken Blade's all out. G2 are finding yet another fight as Bin tries to scramble back out. He's not going to get away. There's no flash here with the Renekton. G2 might just ace him. Knight gets charm and he finds 1 kill. He's looking for a little bit more. He needs the damage on the Caps. He gets a double. Skewmon with a flash. He goes in for the kill. But Knight says no.
Distracted and dizzy in their own team fight, but Knight was able to correct all of that.
Yeah, I think Knight's my front runner for player of the game now. Cap jumps into the pit. They want to try to challenge here for the Baron. It's down to 1,000, secured by Shun. G2 moving forward, still trying to stop these guys. Broken Blade finds Viper, who tries to get away, but that's pressure on Yunara. Another kill for G2. Caps wants Bin as the Renekton again. Remember, he does not have a flash. Dominance Force just to stay alive, but Caps wants more. FEARX Gauge provides Bin with enough HP to continue running for now. Knight going after Labrov. Deep dive from Broken Blade. They get the kill they want, but it costs BB's life. Knight is still prowling, looking for the opportunity to find something else. It's a Baron for BLG, but they lose 2 in the process for the 1 from G2.
G2 here, even despite this 9,000 gold difference, they're finding some fights for themselves. The Baron is taken by BLG.
A lot here with the start. Knight's back over in the mid lane. Scuttle Crab, focus for BLG. They'll secure that one. Keep your eyes on Knight.
And this brush, look at this brush, dude. They're focusing it again. Triple trap with the control ward.
Okay. G2 still on the approach. Bin taking a big chunk of damage, loses half HP to Caps' Ahri here immediately at the very start of the fight. Skewmon still wants to try to contest here for this Drake. Immediately drops the subjugate. Flash coming out from Bin. He wants to try to kill Caps. He gets back away. Caps goes back into the Spirit Orb. Beautifully done, but Knight gets revenge, and now G2 is falling. Knight wants the second kill onto Labrov as Shun goes after Skewmon, and Broken Blade's got to try to fight everybody else on the BLG roster. Triple kill for Knight. Zakali. Broken Blade trying to run. He wants to maybe turn it around. It's the only option he's got, but it's not good enough. Ace for Viper and BLG. They lose Bin, but they'll take everybody else. The bottom lane tier 3 turret will collapse. The mid lane one will do the same, and BLG are on their victory march. No one in G2 colors stands to stop them, and BLG will clean sweep G2 and be the first team at First Stand 2026 to pass the group stage.
3-0 for BLG. And Knight having some fun on that Akali, man. Beautiful to watch.
I think I gotta give him my player of the game now. We were talking about that at the beginning of the game, how bottom lane and mid were both going crazy. And originally I felt like the edge was going towards the bottom laners, despite Knight getting his solo kill. But when things started to get shaky, when they were having a little bit too much fun with the video game, it was Knight saying, guys, wait, hold on, it's a competitive game. We still gotta win this. He's the one who clutches. He's the one who makes it happen. And honestly, incredible game from BLG in a series that was close for the early games of the first 2 and then turned to BLG dominance. In game 3, they just decided, what if we got rid of the close part?
Yeah, it started with that bottom lane, the 2v3 double kill for them. and ended with a lot of night plays.
Yeah, lots of night plays. Shun, of course, also helping so much in that bottom lane. He was there to counter after Skewmon was trying to make the move. Yes, G2 got a little bit too excited. They got killed in the 2v2, but then Shun also
Guard ult, or they're just going to get caught. And if they don't flash it, well, guess what? The ball is waiting on your head as you come out. You get Shockwave, right? So it does give you some engage, though it is lower commitment, a little less reliable, and it does give you a winning 2v2. And with Victor being picked in
going to continue to be an issue. Shun walking his way up. There was a large wave here at the turret. Xiaoshu trying to clear it out, but now here's your Dustbringer immediately into the tether. Shun taking the aggro for now. It's first blood over to Bin, and
very tough because then you're under your tower. You know a dive could be coming. You want to clear out that wave, but the timing was so good from Shun because Xiaoshu spends all of his spells on this wave, and as soon as you see that there's no spells, there's no flash, there's no outplay.
Okay, Vampire goes in, tries to find a nice combo here on to On. They even commit the Chains of Corruption there from Gala. They get a good chunk of damage onto the enemy support. It costs his heal, but he's still just fine.
Yeah, it's going to be fine for now. The question is, can Junja get in behind him and look for the follow-up? Because there's no flash on because of that trade in mid. That's what they're trying to punish.
Okay, On level 5 now. Junja coming down with the Cataclysm available. Vampire starts off the dive, and On is already down. Kill goes over to Tagala as well as Viper tries to escape. Pops the clan, still has flash, gets a return kill. There on the Vampire, wants to make his way back underneath the turret, but it's not going to happen. Double kill for
Gala, which is problematic. Vampire has TP'd up towards this top side and isn't looking for, he is looking for an angle, and now he just uses jump.
Yeah, Bin already using the Mega Gnar there onto Xiaoshu. Hits him with another boulder toss, but the public execution finds the mark this time, and Bin has reverted to mini form. Xiaoshu should have the damage. Vampire's rotation ends up paying some big dividends as Xiaoshu gets the kill onto Bin, but back in the mid lane, it's Hongq under pressure yet again. Not only On, but Shun with and so now the Grubs are going to be the target for Junja as he does smite down the first one and then decides to leave. Again, Bin has control and priority over the top lane. He gets to rotate first down into the river. He's already in Mega Gnar form, which makes it very easy for Shun to just force the enemy jungler away. He'll secure the other two Grubs.
Also, and I think it's just a nod to the fact that, well, there is Ambessa, there is Jarvan, there's all of this dive.
Okay, Chains of Corruption here on the bottom side. Lots of damage from Gala and Vampire. On tries to get away, bops the heal as the piercing arrow just barely doesn't have the distance. Gala gets caught by the Tempered Fate, and now Viper's looking for a little bit more. Nice timing there on the Foss Bomb plus the Rocket. Meanwhile, over in the mid lane, looks like we might have a little bit of a problem as junglers are showing up. Paranoia was already spent. However, Junja was ready to like there's going to be a contest. JDG are up 2-0 in Dragons.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, it's pretty much a can't miss soul. It's you're either going to get Cloud, Mountain, Infernal, or Hextech.
Mountain it is. Was already committed just a moment ago. Knight also rotating over towards this fight, but it's Vampire going in for the headbutt pull. Tempered Fate to try to disengage it. Paranoia turns off the lights. Knight down to half HP, goes on a magical journey back through the wall, but now the re-engage coming out from Shun and Bin looking for Xiaoshu, who has to flash away. Flash out from Shun, dodging the combo from Junja, as now Bin gets stunned up, but he's not too worried about it. Junja's going to be your target here next, as BLG, they use the Shockwave. That's going to force the flash of the Jarvan here as well.
Running things, and Bin just got his Triforce. The Eclipse was that earlier item spike, but now we're coming in looking for a fight off that spike.
Okay, On throws the Tempered Fate on himself, expecting the public execution to maybe hit, but now there's your Knockwave on to 2. JDG's got to be careful. However, Shun might just die. No, Knight gets the kill on the Gala. Shun's still alive in the middle of everybody. Xiaoshu's going to be your target here next. Shun's still staying alive, but Junja gets him on the way out. On with the flash away, and Junja's going to die here next. It's a back and forth. Really, really good stuff. But of course, since Shun was the one who died, I spoke too soon. The Rift Herald didn't actually get claimed by BLG area of the Rift instead. And you can see Junja trying to clear out some of the vision here, but On and Knight are waiting. Shockwave beautifully pulls Junja back out of the combo, and now the Jarvan is stuck between a rock and a hard place. They will kill him in the
with the perfect Shockwave there. Gets the kill, gets in the dragon, slows down that march towards Soul, which is so important. And now top lane, mid lane becoming...
Again, just trying to defend the entrance to their jungle, trying to defend this tier 1 turret that is barely holding on down here in bottom lane. But BLG wants to stop him. Nice engage coming out from Vampire, but the Tempered Fate again. It's On's board into the double binding right after, but Knight flashes away. He keeps his mid laner alive. On is doing great in game number 1. Junja flies over the wall and Knight finally dies. Hongq takes the kill, and that one's a shutdown. On has to try to escape now as Shun and Viper realize there's nothing they can do to save their teammates. JDG find the engage they needed. They managed to pick up the 2 kills, but it comes at the cost of the tier 2 turret top.
Even with a great play there from On, it didn't matter. Now Shun's going to get walked down.
Yeah, this is just a blunder from Shun, hanging around too long to look at the tier 1 turret dying. Now he's going to have to do it from the grave.
Yeah, and BLG, you know, while they do have these really dominant early games, they have to be careful. They got to stay buttoned up because this is something that we saw in the upper bracket finals, not the grand finals, but in the upper bracket finals. They created some really big advantages. Just too confident.
Meanwhile, back to live. It's BLG going in for an invade yet again. The paranoia is not even needed, but the Tempered Fate finds a second target. They already killed the jungler. Now they want the top laner as well, and BLG find 2. BLG.
Yep, and generally the recourse to this would be, oh, well, maybe we'll push in mid, get a tier 1 there. But On TP just walks in very confidently into On, gets bound into that blue buff. The Shockwave is there to follow. We're back to live, and On.
Yeah, he wanted to get some vision. He was thinking the Rift might have been safe enough, but unfortunately for him, it is not.
Found Victor.
If you're JDG, you're honestly pretty happy with that because at least that's going to slow down this Baron war machine because they only have a 4v5. Normally picking off the support randomly can not mean a whole lot, but here I feel like it can at least slow them down a bit. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ben's going to make me a liar as he pushes into the enemy base. The flash away to try to escape from Xiaoshu as Shun takes a lot of damage from the Nexus turrets, but not enough to make it an even trade. This is what you were talking about from the finals. It's Ben and Shun taking Xiaoshu's lunch money the entire game long. The Ambessa 1 and 4. Yes, JDG will achieve soul point here as they grab their third Drake earlier, and now it's the JDG base that's cracked open.
I mean, they're just bullying this poor guy. Ben ate his lunch, Shun put him in the locker. They just won't leave him alone, even under the Nexus towers.
Oh man, now Jun just trying to get away, but again, this Jarvan is constantly the victim of the shockwaves. Gala with a defensive chains of corruption, but that doesn't matter. It's a double kill for Viper's Corki. On goes on a magical journey. Hongq and Vampire go home because nowhere is safe outside of the base. BLG are on the warpath, and their opponents only have 3 champions to try to stand against them. The top lane tier 3 turret is already down. BLG with a 4-man push. Shun is going towards the bottom lane, wants to take out what's still standing of that tier 2 turret. There's not full health on it, still about half or so, as the rest of BLG will now be able to rotate over, guaranteed that they can continue to apply that pressure. Meanwhile, Knight is going to make sure they still have 2 points of pressure. Oh wait, the map lied to me. I thought that said 3 plates, not 5. Anyway, it was full HP, but it's not going to be for very long, as Knight continues making sure that there's more than one thing JDG has to worry about, and BLG claims the last remaining tier 2. I don't really see a world where they can try to contest anything in open ground against BLG, as now it looks like On may have got caught. Honestly, this is huge for JDG. 30 seconds to go until that dragon spawns, and the enemy support is down. Now Ben gets caught on the very edge of the public execution, has to flash away as he reverts to mini form, and JDG might have found the chance to grab this Mountain Soul. Can they make sure they maintain this control? However, Junja goes in. The follow-up is right there. Knight has to flash over the ball, trying to stay alive. Shun comes in, wanting to support his carries, create a little bit of space. The pressure is on, and now they've already found the kill into Gala. They try to reposition their jungler, but Junja falls as well. Shun still staying alive. Knight, Ben, and Viper all firing back, and this is Viper's moment. The Corki with the double kill, as Ben and Knight should have enough damage to take down Xiaoshu easily. Hongq goes after Viper, but the Corki is running and gunning and standing and fighting, and now Hongq's about to die too. He goes golden, but the gold is nothing but a trophy for BLG.
We got to full send it. It's not going to get better than this. Xiaoshu is able to tag Ben. They're able to chase in, and
so let's see if they can accomplish that. JDG have held the line for 1 minute and 20 of that 2 minutes of the Baron, as now BLG continue their push, but there's the paranoia into the dive with an Aquave combo, and now the Gala's already dead. BLG have surely found their moment. Shun is going to die though, as Vampire's creating space with Unbreakable Will. He finally falls. Xiaoshu's your next target. Ben hops in because he's got the Guardian Angel. He'll resurrect. Shun died, but he's the only one. Hongq tries to get away, but Viper does so much damage on the Corki, and that will do it. 5 for 1. BLG find the fight. They're going to eliminate the remainder of the JDG structures with a 16,000 gold lead almost by the time game 1 ends, and BLG are up 1-0.
Exciting game 1 here from BLG, really showcasing the individual levels here in those solo lanes, crushing it through top and mid. On, I think, though, for me, I think On is my player of the game. He was helping out Knight so much in the mid lane. He was perfect with his Tempered Fates, finding great bindings in a lot of these 5v5s as well. I feel like he was everywhere.
Yeah, it's really easy to look at Knight and to look at Ben and be like, both of these guys just smurfed it. But I think I've got to agree with you. On being everywhere all of the time, whether he's using the opportunity to show up in a place where you wouldn't expect him, whether he's just giving hot cocos, he was smurfing, BLG was dominating. Lounge, what do we think?
And then you see a draft like this and you're like, oh, you just won the game.
Yeah, Steadfast Presence is one of those abilities that I feel like is just absolutely nuts against certain champions. Okay, JDG is going with the ladder combo that bullies lane. Caitlyn
You tank a bunch of damage and you have to take a really bad base there. Sure, it sucks that you lost your flash, but it's better to lose the flash early if you're going to do it.
Ooh, look at the damage! First Blood Gala in the 2v2, the Piltover Peacemaker into the follow-up.
You know, one of the best supports in the LPL. He's really impressive, and is going to be an important part of any win they could get.
Ooh, nice solar snare there onto Hongq. Knight forcing out the Spirit Rush from the enemy jungler as the Drake does go over to JDG. Now Shun in the middle of the pit, has to flash trying to get away from Junja, but now Junja turns it right back around. He wants to go after Knight, who escapes back towards the rest of his team, waiting over the wall. So both teams trying to get a little bit fresh here in the fight after the Dragon's already down, but nobody falls. JDG still up 1,500 gold 8 minutes into the game. They're feeling great about this early game.
Yeah, and that smite was a clencher as Xiaoshu interrupts the smash.
Okay, the defensive Scion ulti again. So they will see Junja doing this. They won't be able to stop at least the first grub, and you can see Hongq already in a defensive position to cover for Junja, who now backs away from the remaining 2 grubs, ready to help the fight as On tries to go in, but instead the reversal is beautiful. Gala gets out of the range. They fire back with a light binding because they know that Nico has to stop in the same spot to drop the ulti, and the Wombo combo is just way too powerful. The Piltover Peacemaker takes the kill. Not only do they get their second 2v2 kill of the game in the bottom lane, but JDG claim all 3 grubs. They're up over 2,000 gold. Game 2 is all JDG all the way.
And now the bot lane is going to get even more tough because Gala will have those grubs.
Okay, Ben just going to walk this one off. Wants to get away from Xiaoshu. Misses the decimating smash. Charged it a little bit long there. Ben goes back in for the ulti. As Shun shows up, point blank Keeper's Verdict finds the double knockup. Decimating smash with a double knockup of its own as Knight appears. Junja drops. And there's the second one as well as Xiaoshu falls. That's actually what the translation of Finale's Fun Count is.
Okay.
But yeah, the name was definitely harder to remember earlier, even though I remembered it but forgot the real one. As Shun, channeling the Keeper's Verdict, nice knock, gets rid of the enemy jungler there, wants to try to finish the damage here onto the Dragon, and there it is, Mountain Drake secured for BLG. They're going to feel good about that one. As the Vi ulti, he flashes over the wall and he drags Junja with him. I love when players do that against a Vi. Her
Dragon, it is BLG with slight advantages on the top side. And this is going to be a game, we already kind of knew it, but it's really all about Gala. He has all of that gold lead, and Ben has been able to stabilize thus far on the top side. Xiaoshu's doing his best, but it's tough.
Yeah, Thornmail doing plenty of work here for the Scion as he goes in for the point blank ulti, decimating smash right after. Ben's got the timing to catch him on the very edge, and as the Soul Furnace
that's going to one-shot you. Sometimes like you see that in solo queue when they really get a lot of gold. He is just playing that supportive style. They're going to try to set up a dive onto Xiaoshu though. They are bullying this guy.
Yeah, the tackle straight into the turret for the stun, but where's the rest of the damage? Viper has to overcommit to get it, and that means he's going to die in a 1-for-1 trade.
Yeah, it is a 1-for-1.
Treads completed, making sure that he can get out of the CC when he does get hit by it inevitably as the front line for BLG. But a TP coming in now for JDG with a Rift Herald down to 4,000 HP.
Split.
JDG wants to fight for this. Viper's away from the rest of the team. Tries to throw out the Arc of Judgment. A disguised Nico as a minion in the jungle. We could see On go for something, but no. JDG hasn't seen him yet. They don't want to go for anything here. Let's see if they can make their way forward now as the Scion ulti leads the charge. Xiaoshu though with a slice and dice through the Scion to get away. JDG decides
you're looking towards 3 items because this is the guy with all your gold, and this is the guy who has to deal with Ben.
Ooh, nice engage there from Junja and Hongq going after Knight. The rebuttal buys a little bit of time for him. Solar Snare underneath the turret, but there's no way the turret can do enough damage to make that trade even. So you got the mid-jungle combo, that Vi Ahri from Hongq and Junja finds their target.
Yeah, they're going to be able to find their target there. Knight died while channeling the ultimate. Otherwise, maybe he has enough damage to threaten Junja. Probably still would have lived, but this means with that play up on top side, the timing is so late that it means they're just giving over a free dragon.
Yeah, Hongq takes the tier 1 turret in the top side, but remember that they did have to commit both Spirit Rush and the Vi ulti onto that top side play. So BLG knows, all right.
Damn, your AD carries down 40 CS. He must have farmed really badly. Viper has 10 CS a minute.
Yeah, more, actually. It's just crazy, as now BLG are looking for their opportunity to make a play. Tackle into the wall onto Hongq. Keeper's verdict, ready to juggle it. Golden Eclipse finds the kill. They try to get Junja away, but now Viper is on the hunt, chasing him down. He has transcended. Another ball breaker might try to get Junja out of the way, but no, Steadfast Presence stops that in its tracks. Viper gets a couple of kills here, and the Rift Herald is summoned up in mid lane. This is kind of a, it was timing out, so we just have to use it, Herald. So unfortunately for BLG, yeah, it's not great. Shelly's not even going to get a charge onto one turret. So Bin in first. If he accidentally eats a cupcake, it's not a problem. He'll step straight through the banana brush, but the dragon has already been claimed by JDG, and now Bin's eating a ton of damage. Final spark over the top. Bin already almost dead. Keeper's verdict hits no one. Shun tries to use the Steadfast Presence to defend himself. Defensive Pop Blossom coming out from on, but he's already dead. It's a 1-for-1 trade here so far. Xiaoshu tries to get away. You can see Hongq barely any HP left on the Ahri. So both top laner and mid laner from JDG.
A lot more armor on top. They're probably both going to go Randuin's this game.
Okay, On going forward with the Pop Blossom. They want the damage here into Junja, but the tackle doesn't hit the wall. On staying alive for now. Junja dies, but is traded back as Hongq kills On. Now over in the mid lane, it's Gala hit with a decimating smash. Viper needs one more auto attack in the Fed. Caitlyn is dead. Now up here in the top side, River. It's another kill. Knights on a killing spree. Hongq falls. Xiaoshu wants to get one back onto Shun, and he needs it. They don't want to let BLG try to get away with taking a bear in 25 minutes into the game, but they don't have anything to say about it. That's 4 dead on JDG. The throw is complete, and BLG's going after Baron.
JDG, let's check the time. Time of death, 25:50 in this game. BLG rip the game from their hands. The lead for Gala means nothing. The solo laners again stealing the show, and JDG can do even worse because now you're not actually pushing. Now you're not getting as much gold. You're slowed down so much. When is this LDR going to finish? Next game?
Probably, because you were right in what you said earlier, my friend. It's Randuin's Omen now on Bin.
It's going to be double Randuin's.
I guess I don't really care that you have 75% crit chance on Caitlyn right now, because that means you have a 75% chance to get your damage reduced by Randuin's Omen. Now BLG continuing to push forward here on the tier 2. The doubled up Baron cannon minions, just providing plenty of extra firepower, but JDG can't even try to defend this. They don't even need the extra range of the cannon minions because everybody on BLG can step forward, get the job done themselves. 4,500 gold lead. Baron for another 90 seconds. Pressure onto the tier 2 turret in mid lane now as BLG is just easily walking from lane to lane, taking whatever structure they want, and JDG is struggling to find any sort of a response.
I mean, even On is going to have a Frozen Heart. Knight has a Zhonya's. There's so much armor on this team. It is going to be incredibly difficult. And really, you only have Viper as a target now, right? Like, that is it, because you can't go on the Zhonya's Mel. You can't go on anyone on the top side. And you really can't win a fight by spending all of your damage on either. So JDG now, it's got to be basically Viper or a bust. And if you ult from really long range and on Viper, he's going to R, Conmay step. He's going to pull you back into the middle of the team, and they're going to do what they've done to Junja a number of times this game.
All right, BLG, time to crack open the base, and it's not going to be met with much resistance at all. Tier 3 turret falls in the mid lane. As JDG still thinking about, do we even fight for this? Is inhib number 1 worth it? The answer seems to be no right now as Vampire gets back from the fountain, joins back up with the rest of the team. Only the Nico clone in the enemy base there. They throw the light binding at it just in case. Junja and Xiaoshu trying to defend the tier 3 turret here in bottom. Bin again though, just that front line you can't do anything about. The Scion is so hard to kill as the third plate drops off of the tier 3 turret. BLG know that they've only got the Baron for about another 10 seconds. As you can see, Bin going for a recall, does have teleport to rejoin the rest of the team if he needs to. Shun though might be caught on a little bit of a bad spot, but On has a nice Pop Blossom, and there's the kill onto the Vi. Junja's into the picture, and Viper goes in. He's transcended, and he's ready to put the pressure onto JDG. The Renekton is useless, decimating smash into Gala. Bin creating all the space in the world as JDG have to head back to the fountain, tail between their legs, and BLG got a 5v3. They push towards Nexus turrets. First one's about to drop. Bin continuing to keep everybody else on JDG trapped in the fountain steps. as On moves forward, tries to reposition. He will fall. 4v3 for BLG. Shun with the tackle forward. Steadfast presence again. So much value here out of the Poppy W. Hongq dies. Gala dies. Vampire can't do anything. BLG win game 2. They're on match point.
It was a great start from JDG, but a much better finish from BLG. Bin was just laughing on him on the fountain steps there. Takes about 50 autos from Gala until Gala says, you know what? I'm going to stop autoing. He tries to walk past him and just dies.
Yep, Thornmail means Caitlyn's taking more damage from Caitlyn's autos. I got to give my player of the game in this one to Shun. I think the Poppy just did so well. So many good angles on those tackles. So much value out of the Steadfast presence and the patience from the team as a whole to come back from a game that at one point they were 3,500 gold behind. BLG's looking fierce. JDG's looking down the barrel of a potential clean sweep. Analysts, what do we think?
One game with some crazy cooks, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Wait. Is it support Aurora?
It's support.
Oh, it's support Anivia. It's support Anivia.
Oh, support Anivia with mid lane Aurora. Okay. All right. I was like,
you do always have to be careful in these matchups, though, as he is now trying to get this wave crashed in, and Shun is behind him.
yeah, Shun's coming up. Been very low on health, completely out of mana. Shun gonna try to go after the Tryndamere here. Goes in for the 3 talent strike, audacious charge, wind becomes lightning. Xiaoshu's trying to get a reset here on his spin to get away, but it ain't gonna work. Shun, first blood for BLG.
Nicely done, and now you have no kill, so it's not gonna swing this matchup out of control. But Bin's still got a really good early buy here. With the plated steel cap, it's gonna be very effective.
Beautiful job from Shun over the wall. I love it when junglers utilize the Raptor pit gank in the mid lane when the enemy mid laner's under turret. He hits the wind, becomes lightning. They know there's no flash on the way, and they accomplish the dive there. It is BLG plus 700 gold, but JDG snags the first Drake for themselves. It is Ocean Drake #1 at 6.5 minutes in, so that's going to feel good for your laning phase.
I mean, it kind of just feels like Shun is just running this series, man. He has been so effective, and, well, Junja hasn't really done anything wrong. You know, he's just power farming, you know, he's doing his thing. Shun has affected both the soul lanes, right? He's been able to really make a big difference, and that is tough. Juan is getting low. Remember, he has no egg.
Yeah, he does hit the Flash Frost there. Close range. Vampire trying to get away, but a nice wall. Flash away from the high note, too. On with the outplay. Scepter's at least going to give him some sustain, dealing with that constant harass from the Maiden. Oh, no. Hongq gets hit by a max range Enchanted Crystal Arrow into the perfect Flash Frost follow. And between...
Comically slow, and you know, he's on no boots, but On is just playing it really, really well. He looks so comfortable here. And it was a pretty hard force from the JDG bot lane. You know, Gala, I feel like maybe tipped his hand a little bit because he's not even picking up souls. He's walking past the souls to just run straight at the Anivia. And they look for this encore with Junja behind him, but can't find it, so...
Okay, JDG decide they're going to commit 4 men to this one. Remember that Tryndamere has no teleport to try to join these things. That's one thing you've got to be concerned about, but there's no TP on Bin with the Yorick either. Arrow flies out, but it goes straight between the uprights. Shun wants to try to steal it away, but no, Knight's the one who gets it! Shun in the middle of everybody staying alive for now, but he does eventually fall. Hongq's got to be careful. He's trapped inside the Glacial Storm. Vampire dies to the volley, and Knight's going further forward. He wants to see if he can pick up Gala here, too. Not quite enough in the lane, so they're shoved up. They're constantly making sure that they're putting the pressure on their opponents. Shun's going to secure the Rift Herald now, too. So overall, BLG has got most of the objectives here in this game. They secured all 3 grubs. They secured the Herald. They stole away that second Drake from JDG. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad, as Knight now goes in after Hongq yet again between worlds, setting it up. Proto Belt to try to knock it down, but Hongq, oh no, the weirding flash. Beautifully placed from Knight to guarantee that he gets the kill, and the enemy mid laner takes the double buffs along with it. Gala getting stopped by the wall here for a second. Remember that On still has his egg if they want to try to continue chasing. Junja's there, and that's what they got to be cautious of. The Olaf almost has his ulti ready to go again, and that is Shun just going way too far. Overplays his hand, gets overzealous. On to
be pushed back to base, or back to tower, excuse me there, but we'll just be able to constantly sustain up. Viper, though, the big winner here, knocks down the first tower of the game. 17
at this point, he was dealing with the full item Tryndamere, where he was still having components himself because he stopped off for those steel caps, excuse me, and execution.
Finished off his tower on bot side, though, so that is going to be even more problematic. And I gotta say, this is
you might want to let that one slide this time, as Bin will be able to just take out this tier 1 turret here in the top lane now. And this is one thing I did want to pay attention to this game, because last game BLG's Herald was kind of just a sadness Herald. They just
just had to summon it up because it was running out. They got no value this time around. Very different story. Junja caught on the wrong side of the wall, taking a bunch of damage as Shun goes in, and they kill the Olaf. He can't be immune to the wall. Now Honkyu's in danger because remember, he doesn't have a flash. The shield is enough to keep him alive for now. No, but the double kill over to Shun, as now they're going to look to maybe make it a triple. Shun taking a lot of damage, though. Gala over the wall finds the kill, so at least they get one. That was about the only single mistake. TP coming in now from BLG. They know that the Tryndamere does not have his ulti. This is your chance to punish him, maybe find that kill. Spin away over the wall, though. Plenty of mobility on this champion. It's one of the things that makes him so obnoxious, but hey, Viper does no wrong with his ultis. The Ashe arrows are point and click this game.
Yeah, it's just another day at the range. Bullseye after bullseye after bullseye for Viper. He has been on fire in this game, and I gotta agree with you. BLG playing almost perfect. Knight is behind them. They don't know Knight's behind him.
Okay, Viper's getting run down, though. Nice kill coming out there for Junja as Shun puts the pressure into the back line and Vampire dies. Junja going after On, but now the Olaf is isolated. He has no Ragnarok. The cage is there, and Ben sends him straight to jail. Nice pickup there from BLG.
With that maiden damage, and BLG does not look like they'll be contested. I mean, Junja's dead for a long time, and no one else here is even moving over into the area. So this one is just going to be gone. They're already up 5K. And the
That's 3-1 on the Drake count, sole point from BLG. Red Bull Baron power play still for the majority of that time, or 2 minutes. Isaac, why not? Because it helps him do extra troll stuff. Oh, another nice arrow onto Honkyu. Not enough to kill him here just yet as the Dawning Shadow goes through, and it's a ton of burst down onto the Aurora. That's a huge shutdown onto Knight. But what about On and Viper back towards Junja? They get one in return again. Defensive ulti from Shun to stay alive, but he's rooted up underneath the tower. That last shot will not have enough damage to kill him. Meanwhile, the FEARX split pushing over in mid lane, trying to make sure that BLG maintains multiple points of pressure. The shutdown on Knight was huge, and that's his first death the entire game. But been in purgatory, as they'll both just, like you said earlier, you kill the wave, you don't engage with the other guy. But when the other guy has more other guys that come to help him, all of a sudden it's harder to not interact. As Knight nearly insta-kills Gala. Shun's coming in to try to finish the job. Ulti for the defense as On and Knight continue to back up their jungler, but it's a lot of damage onto Shun, and he's shut down. Nice kill for Junja. Gala still barely staying alive now as well. 4v5 on the rift. Xiaoshu tries to flash over the Flash Frost. He goes after Viper, but again, it's On with a beautiful wall that the Tryndamere cannot get through. An arrow to the heart takes his life, as now a flash out from Vampire keeps the rift to 4v4. Baron's gonna spawn in 5 seconds. The Mountain Drake is already up. On and Viper still hanging around, still seeing if maybe they can harass this enough as they fire out another arrow onto Honkyu, and Knight arrives with the teleport right behind him. He shouldn't have enough damage to take this kill. It ends up sealing the fate of the BLG mid laner instead, but the entire time, Bin is in the enemy base. Damage from the shot. Honkyu coming around on the flank. Viper and Ban approaching here as well. Honkyu has to flash. The wall would have sealed his fate otherwise. As Shun goes into the middle of everybody and Gala's already down. Now the Olaf tries to flash into the back line, goes after Viper and finds them. Vampire's trapped in the pit. It's a double kill as Shun kills the Olaf. And now the Tryndamere is trapped in the middle of everybody. He's unkillable for now, but he's got to get something. And all he gets is buried in the river. BLG, they're just too far ahead. They stop the Baron attempt. They complete the Baron take themselves. And only Honkyu is left standing on JDG. Remember, the bottom lane inhibitor is exposed because of Bin's split push earlier. As we'll see pressure onto the mid and top lanes for the time being, as everybody in BLG is grouping up, but Knight gets caught. A big blunder from the mid laner gets punished, and that's going to slam the brakes of the Baron push.
Knight tried to go across the veil. He tried to angle it so he could hop over the edge.
The Dragon is started by Viper. The Ashe has a lot of DPS for this, and remember that On is just going to use walls to keep everybody from JDG away. Buy a little bit more time for BLG to secure the Mountain Soul, and yes, they've got it. Xiaoshu wants to go in. He's going after Viper. He tries to spin forward, but the flash over the wall for the AD carry keeps him alive. Flash over the wall from On to try to respond. Killing spree for Shun as they take out the top laner. Junja dies trying to go forward. Now it's a 5v3 for BLG. Gala barely missing, getting stunned out there by the Flash Frost. Arrow shoots out. Arrow collides. Vampire tries to be the sacrificial lamb for his team. He flashes forward. He wants to take the blast cone to try to get away, but no! Vampire falls and the sun shines bright for BLG. Honkyu's golden, and it'll just be a trophy for the LPL #1 seen. Double kill for Viper, and it's a 5v1 push. Gala Senna, there's not enough souls on Summoner's Rift to get you out of this one. Bin will chase him back to the fountain. There's no Summoner spells available. The Nexus turrets will be the next target. The first time they fought, it was 3-2 BLG. The finals was 3-1 BLG. And now at first stand, it's 3-0 BLG. They'll make their way to the finals tomorrow to face G2 and try to become first stand champions.
They just keep getting better, and what a series from On. This guy was incredible. You think about the Bard in game 1, you think about the Anivia here in game 3. He was doing so much, controlling space. It was a beautiful draft pick here. Incredible stuff from BLG. Lounge, what do you got?
An urge to play Proto Belt Anivia, I think?
No, I mean, he adjusted.
But
he did adjust his build from the LPL upper bracket where he went Roa that time.
But
so, you know, this time he decided, I don't need to do damage.
The thing is, the last time they played it, he had the Callista backing him up. He had, like, the ability to kill in lane. This time, he was just controlling the game completely, denying with the walls non-stop.
Yeah.
It just felt like the terrain was such a big blocker constantly.
Yeah, both teams really cooked in the last game of this draft. I was constantly terrified that the Senna Seraphine was going to find a way to outscale with the Olaf Tryndamere, but On played the
now. We've seen it multiple times into the Aurora matchup. They both do very similar things. Annie has slightly longer range, but Aurora has slightly more versatility. Just in her... Oh, and the Yorick slam from Broken Blades.
Yorick is actually a very good matchup into Gnar. You know, it's a lot about punishing the Gnar in mini form.
Knowing that his jungler's on that side of the map, Cap's jumping in, looking for the slow. Knight has to flash the slow from the weirding. Otherwise, he could have been caught out. But Stumon's flashing for the chase. The shield from Knight enough to get him a bit of movement speed. There's a flank here for Jun as well, who dashes across the wall. Skumon down to half HP as On tries to trade back in. Knight has the stun. No flash on him. The polymorph. Skumon's going to get stunned up, but Knight is low as well. Skumon tries to dash back in. A 1-for-1 the exchange so far as LeBron comes in to bolster the attack for Caps. But Caps now needs to run. Does still have the flash. Jun still trying to chase in. Doesn't get the stun against the wall. Caps low on mana. Flash forward from On. The hammer smash not connecting, and Shun might just fall to LeBron. On's going to follow suit. Caps goes across the veil, and BLG goes. Really meta. A couple of MSIs ago, I want to say. Hunsummer and LeBron with the push in towards the bottom lane. Shun is on his way across here, as is Knight. Hunsummer and LeBron stepping forward. He'll use for the movement speed. Shun still on the chase, doesn't have the flash. Hunsummer trying to get away alongside LeBron. Step up presence coming down. Hunsummer steps back forward into it. LeBron so low, slammed into the wall. And BOG will claim their second kill of the game.
Really good focus here. They knew LeBron had
going to push in. Skumond might look to go behind the tower here. Bin has no flash. There's the Cataclysm. They'll look for the follow-up, but Bin's still very healthy for now. The Ghouls are going to join in. Another Dark Perception. He didn't overextend, but Skumond still finds it.
Lock him in when he doesn't have the hop. There's just nothing he can do to get away.
Viper getting chased out by Hunsummer here, who has level 6, but that polymorph perfectly timed. LeBron not yet level 6. Viper still trading back onto Hans, who has to pop the barrier, but again, not taking too much damage while it's happening, and Hans just goes down. Thought he had the advantage with that level 6. Knight's on his way across as well.
And they just have such great awareness of the prio that they have in their lanes and the pressure that they're able to implement.
No flash.
Everyone knows he doesn't have flash. Knight not knocked up, though. He's going to get the stun off. Caps looking to go between the worlds, and Knight is sent back to the fountain. G2's mid-jungle, finding their 5th total kill together.
100% kill participation for Skumon as he makes his presence known on the Rift. He set his sights on bot lane.
As Jun is on his way across here, On having to flash away. Skumon doesn't have the Cataclysm right now. It's still on cooldown, tied away. Viper blocks it with a spell shield. Jun holding on to the steadfast presence. The knock into the wall with a heroic charge, and Skumon overstepped on a sliver of HP. Shields enough. The Keeper's Verdict finds LeBron guilty, but he'll flash forward to get it. A 1-for-1 so far. Underneath the tower, Viper should be able to chase out LeBron. Shun is coming to help. It will be a 2-for-1 in favor of BLG.
LeBron flashes in, does get one back, but at the end of the day, that is his way through there. Held his spell shield for the bubble as that came through from LeBron, and they're able to create enough distance. I think Caps did have the ulti as he TP'd in, but I think he was thinking, all right, they have Sums, they have Sivir, I need to save it for kind of the gap closer to be able to Knight there with them for the start of the fight. He has flash, he has ult, but Caps is here too. This could be a big fight.
On stepping forward, has to flash away. Tidal Wave coming out as well. The Keeper's Verdict only lands onto LeBron, but a great hack for Prism before he was knocked back. On taken out by Caps. Jun having to flash as Hunsummer continues to play chase and flashes forward. Viper caught in the Dark Perception. The cage around him, a coffin.
quick kills come through from G2. BLG wasn't expecting that level of aggression to come through from the G2 squad. Hans Sama steps forward, punishes On. No heal to get him to safety, has to commit the flash, and G2 convert that into more. Bin will do his best to convert it into a tower, but now Knight.
Knight with the Tibbers down, has to flash the Aqua Prism. LeBron on point with those so far, as Broken Blade trying to trade onto Bin, who flashes away, but Shun's coming across, will land the Heroic charge into the wall, and now Skumon's in a 1v2, and Bin is about to go mega. Giga Bin on the rip, forces Skumon flash away, flag and drag, but Shun still chases On, trying to come in to bolster the attack. The charge doesn't connect on the wall, but the smash will get the slow. A house chucked at Skumon, everything in the kitchen sink used to kill him off, and BLG find the enemy jungler.
And just like that,
Stuff of nightmares for the European squads. This man has an incredible record, and he's looking to continue that record as we go back to the beautiful from Bin. The man is locked in, and he's ready to fight.
Caps trying to kill off Knight, and will do so. LeBron is low. Aqua Prism coming out. Skumon looking for the chase as well. It's only On and Shun. Cataclysm down to Keeper's verdict. Will knock Skumon out, but Caps is still there to find himself a double. Now 6-0-2 on this Aurora.
Form like this, you know he can take over a game. They're going to be able to get the plates. They're going to be able to get the tower as well on the top side. It's over at 2
potential. But we look back at this play as it's LeBron who looks like he's getting caught out. The ultimate gets dropped by Knight, but the heal and the W both keep him alive, and then Caps comes out of nowhere to get the pick.
Meanwhile, in picture, Bin has been caught out, and G2 put him in the...
But he TP'd down towards bot lane, gets a kill onto Bin. They have the Herald. They're going to get probably 2 charges here, maybe the second.
6-0-3 scoreline on the Aurora, and he is dominating on the Rift right now.
And even more good news for G2 is that this is probably the worst possible soul roll.
Into a numbers advantage for BLG. Knight holding on to the Tibbers. No flash for him. Skumon still in the pit with G2. Broken Blade trying to keep Viper at bay. Vision in the pit for BLG with that control ward. They know what this Baron is on. Shun trying to step forward, chunked out a little bit by Hans Sama. The Maiden doing a bit of work. Bin's already walked across here. Dark Possession.
Didn't have to use a flash for his own, and Bin used that flash, and they keep putting pressure on a Knight, forcing him to use defensive flashes. Viper
doesn't dodge the flag and drag, flashes away, but the Cataclysm will follow. The wild growth, though, Viper still goes down. Skumon able to flash away, as soon as Shun is chunked out to half. The flag and drag out from Skumon now, but Hans Sama steps forward immediately, cleansed away with the Mikhail.
And even with On behind him, it is not enough to keep Viper alive.
The thing that has shocked me the most about this game is when they played against...
Is getting some help here. This is trouble for Bin.
So Bin has teleport. Tidal Wave used by LeBron. There's the TP. LeBron flashing with the Aqua Prism, and they will find Bin. He tries to trade back in, gets the Nami to the wall, gets the stun, follows it with the wall of the barrier, enough to keep Hans Sama alive. He dashes across the wall, and Bin almost buried Hans Sama. But G2 were able to find the kill. BLG now collapses, kill, use the TP to get in here. Shun has to go onto Hans Sama, dashes in, gets the hammer shot down. Aqua Prism again. Hans Sama still surviving. On taken down to half HP. Skumon tries to trade towards the top side. Viper caught out in the Cataclysm. On trying to escape the Between Worlds. The Caps have put him in, but they just can't get away. BLG thought they were collapsing, and G2 said, you can collapse now. Shun tries to escape, but G2 will not give him an inch. They find the ace as G2 win out on the bot side.
Skumon 16 as BLG look to try and fight this drag.
3 items for Viper. He is so strong on this Sivir if he gets a little bit of time. Bin as well, just chunking out Skumon, who does have the Guardian Angel, will have to flag and drag away. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Hans Sama knocked back, Tidal Wave coming out, Keeper's Verdict into the Wild Growth, into the Steadfast Presence, and Hans Sama doesn't get an opportunity to move! BLG collapsed perfectly in mid! They'll find 3, get the shutdown on BB, and now it's all on Caps and Skumon to try and defend the Mega Blast Cone. Will be Caps, it's found, but he dashes back! He used the Between Worlds. Knight coming on for the flank here. Caps might just have to burn the blast.
Settle for the Dragon here, but it was Bin on the side that pushed Skumon down, and Hans was positioned, charges in, knocks him up, Wild Growth to change it, and just not being able to get anything.
They can't get rid of Viper. There's no way G2's going to win a fight.
And while BLG doesn't have the most explosive engage, they have so much move speed. You have Shirelias, you have the speed up from the Lulu, you have On the Hunt, you have Deadmans. G2 really has to be cognizant of that.
And beginning to deny more vision away from G2 in this jungle as well, using those Mega Blast Cones to try and get on Broken Blade, who backs away, but this will be the tier 2s for BLG. Bin pushing in, Caps looking for a flank.
Some more armor on top, so they're trying to get tanky enough to potentially punish that.
Someone needs to be careful. Puts the flag down for a little bit of vision. Knight was looking for the flank as well. BLG will get the Drake. No real.
I think they're going to threaten the Baron here for sure. They have a big HP advantage at this point.
Caps' ult is gone, Hans' ult is gone, Scumon's ult is all gone. There's no reason for BLG not to force this objective.
DP from Caps looking for that flank position. Bin down to a third. Doesn't have the Mega. Is a long way away from that Rage Bar as well. The Baron sitting at 13,000 on the hunt. Is popped by Viper, but he can't get further than the Dark Procession. The Broken Blade locks him in. BB does have the flash, but stunned against the wall. Doesn't have a chance to use it. BLG find a kill, and now will turn their attention back towards the big purple worm.
That's all they needed, a single kill. Now a big part of their front line has disappeared. Minion damage is good on the bot side of the Rift, but Caps has no TP available to him with 4 versus 5. BLG with firm control over this objective, and the Baron is simply melting.
Yeah, Knight's still looking for that flank. Keeper's verdict out from Shun, lands it onto LeBron. Knight gonna walk forward here, but is spotted on vision. Hans Summer trying to step in, does have the flash and barrier, but until LeBron is back, no Mikhail's, no cleanse for him. Scumon trying to get into the pit, but he just can't get close enough. Flag and drag is only option. On falling low, Hans Summer stepping in. They turn on to Knight instead. BLG will secure the Baron, but Knight goes down for it. Hans Summer still dashing forward, flashes from Shun. The stun. Viper able to get away from now, but Shun, it's gonna get chased down by G2. The chase continues as Scumon finds the backline. Been about to go mega. Scumon has the GA. The Angel on his shoulder will bring him back as Caps finds another. BLG got the Baron, but at what cost? G2 will continue to chase as Viper falls for the triple. Ben with a wallop, but G2 want to relegate him to the trash. The no from Ben, not enough today. G2 overcome their demon that is Ben as they win the fight and clear away the Baron.
G2 have all 5 members alive. Look at those death timers. Knight, 15 seconds. G2, they have to go for the Nexus. They have to try and end the game.
They're going to look for the push through bot side. There's an inhibitor there. Knight is back up in 9. They don't have a wave. The question is, can they do it? They're looking to close it out, but without a wave, perhaps a step too far here for G2.
I think they can do it, though. They're pushing forward. Knight is going to try to get behind them and clear the wave, but they're going to go in.
Broken Blade puts him into the cage, and BLG are buried. G2, their attention on the Nexus. The keeper's verdict finds BLG guilty. G2 1-0.
Classic Cap performance. This was one for the ages. This man refused to lose. Caps took over this game. What a performance. Lounge, what do you think?
I think that my cortisol is so high right now. What the hell was this game? Holy G2 take game 1 here in what was one of the closest games we've seen so far in the tournament.
Will we see anything really outlandish at the end? Because I was wondering perhaps the Mundo gets flexed towards the top lane into Gwen. It's not the easiest matchup, but there's going to be the Zehen. Yeah. So it's probably not going to be Mundo in the jungle with the Zehen going top for
That is, I think, one of, if not the worst matchups.
Hans Summer very isolated from the wave.
2 CS right now. Lavrov is level 1 as he walks across. Does have the heal. Hans Summer had to use the cleanse in the bottom lane to escape on and Viper earlier on. On looking for the taunt, will land it. Viper there on the chase further as Lavrov with a cosmic binding doesn't land a stun. Valkyrie across from Hans Summer. Viper trying to survive, but Hans will get a 1-for-1 so far. On does have the flash. Hans Summer looking for the false. Another auto. On flashes away, but Stumond is coming down. On should be able to get away from this. Currently in that red buff bush. The question is, will Stumond sneak him out? Lands the cleaver. On has the taunt, and Stumond flashes to make sure that On can't get across the wall. Cooldown.
You'll notice as well, Viper has a massive XP lead on Hans as well, just because of how much denial they got in the other game.
Looking for the damage here onto Hans Summer. He's down to 300 HP, and On still very healthy. Shun is ready for the dive here. Hans has cleanse, has flash, picks up the Caretaker's talent. There's the Aegis Assault, Valkyrie in from Hans Summer. Shun tanking the tower, only tanks a couple of shots. The spear still connects, the Cosmic Binding onto On, but now he can hold on for the damage. Tanks the tower perfectly. BLG though, Shun gonna tank a couple of shots, and Lavrov will get one in response.
Gets a little bit messy there at the
Lavrov and Scumond are trying to get across here. No, the Krugs are down. Lavrov, where's everyone waiting? Magical journey for Lavrov, but perhaps more of a nightmare. Able to heal himself up a little bit as Hans Summer tries to trade back in. Exhaust out. There's the cleanse as well. Lavrov down to 200 HP. Scumond tanking up everyone with a maximum dosage. He has that level 6 because he stole away the top side, but a spear through his heart sends him back to the grave. In the mid
This minion.
Yeah, one of the small benefits for Lavrov is you do get some XP out of the chimes as Shun is looking for Caps in the mid lane with the taunt going down. Shield Vault in for the stun. Distortion away from Caps will get him to safety. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Scumon was looking for something. On going back in with the taunt. Going to get chased down by the cleavers. Has to burn the flash to get away.
You can see in the Coinbase gold grind there. Shun slightly ahead.
Broken Blade just going in a 2v1?
No TP, and that has been farming plates, that has been in Shun ahead now, getting that significant advantage. And I talked about the importance of Bin in this comp. You don't have great Mundo killers. Gwen can definitely help to bridge that gap. Engage, you can kind of play at that range. They're going to be looking potentially for a dive on top side to respond to this, but BB does sniff it out.
Begins to back away, does have that Grim Deliverance, no flash for him.
Caps on his way as
Big
well.
wave underneath the tower. Broken Blade needs to try and clear this one out quickly. Shun looking for the shield vault. Looks like BLG now will go in. There's the pullback. Grim Deliverance coming out as well as Caps jumps across. Tempered Fate doesn't catch BLG. But G2 will be able to rebut.
And I think he's got Trinity Force now, which is such a big spike. Broken Blade the target.
Immediately met by Shun, and there's the Stand United to follow it up. BB doesn't have the flash, no way out. BLG punishing top lane.
It's a
stomach a little bit as Viper is caught with the Tempered Fate. Heal coming out from On. Viper locked up for the moment. Skew1 chases him, but a good arcane shift away. On able to dash out as well. Skew1 looks to steal away these Raptors. Broken Blade trading with Knight. And Skew1 should be able to take away the Raptors themselves. Shun there in time though, and BB now has to walk away. Pops the ultimate as well.
On played that very intelligently. You know, just played in the face of LeBron to block the binding.
Oh, LeBron. Cosmic Binding almost connects onto On, but he's able to dash away. Meanwhile, TP's coming in as G2 are being collapsed upon. BLG looking for the fight. Hans Summer jumped on by Shun. Does have the flash, won't burn it yet. Flashes away from the spear. Bin now snipping away at LeBron. The needle works, don't quite connect. BB has a flash of his own. He might have to use it to get out. Another spear from Shun behind the tower. Bin still trading in here, BLG. They're looking to make a pincer movement happen. The spear connects through Hans. Another kill. Now Caps TPing in, but BB and G2 can't really collapse themselves quickly enough. Caps jumps across the wall looking for Viper. Shun there on the front line, dashes onto Broken Blade. Oriate rush away as Viper flashes in. Gets the kill but bound forward. The dissonance coming in from Caps as he tries to get away, but he's locked on the wrong side of the wall, and BLG, a death baller just A-moving through G2. Skew and BB can't do anything.
Quick onto Caps. The instant exhaust came through from Viper as well, and BLG really handled that well as LeBron going to try to punish Knight.
Knight doesn't have flash. Cosmic Binding will find the stun. Dreaded Return gets the pullback as well. Taunt coming out from Knight as he looks to try and just delay his death here.
Catches the Blob out.
Exactly. Viper just insta flash shift over the wall to try to catch the
went in for
On.
the taunt. Tempered Fate down onto him. Shun and Viper here to defend him for now. As Shun dives onto the backline. Hans Summer needs to get away from the hero's entrance. Manages to do it with the Valkyrie, but with the Mystic shot hitting. The spear goes through his spine. BLG find another as G2 thought they had got a pick.
Nicely done there from BLG, and they want to keep fighting for more here, but Broken Blade is coming.
Has the dreaded return. Skew1 with the maximum dosage. He's going to heal himself up. Knight trying to get the Justice Punch onto BB, but there's the shutdown onto On. Will the chase continue?
Shun has run rampant in the early game, and it's really put Bin in such a fantastic position. This man is the nightmare of the LEC and Europe, as he has such an incredible record. 16-6 is the advantage that he has over Europe in its entirety. And, oh no, this is against G2.
Yeah, this is against G2, and I will technically say 16-7 now.
It is technically 16-7.
Yeah, buddy, how you like them apples, Bin?
But I mean, right now he's in a position to carry this game, as his Gwen is monstrously far ahead.
I mean,
but Viper is kind of untouchable. They don't really have the range to go onto him. As you said, it's like very reliant on Caps. And then on top of that, Taunt connects.
Goes in for the taunt. There's the follow-up with the CC, and LeBron not given a chance to move. Shun goes unstoppable as G2 try and collapse onto Bin, but with a hallowed return and the TP coming in from Knight, they just can't do it. BB does have a teleport of his own to try and escape this situation, but BLG do not want to give him that luxury. Broken Blade, there's no real way out for you. The question is who will be given over the kill. Justice Punch coming down On, looking for the taunt as well as BB's taunted under the tower. Meanwhile, Skew1 trading with Shun in that red buff area. G2 unable to win out on allowing their laners just to take those advantages and run with them. A 2k lead for Bin on that top side. Has finished the Master's Tooth now. Viper, a few moments. If G2 overextend, sure, we'll find a pick, we'll find a kill. And that's exactly what On's looking to do on LeBron. The magical journey away from LeBron will land the Cosmic Binding. Caps jumping across with the chain. Going to get chained up by Caps. Still that damage pretty substantial. LeBron caught out though by Shun and On, and with the hero's entrance, LeBron gets into the magical journey just in time. Shun's going to get Cosmic Binding, but should still have the damage. hits him with a spear. Not getting anything out of it. BLG now do have an opportunity to play around that ultimate being down, and they're going to go down towards the bottom lane with the Grand Starfall. GA on Shun, no real escape for BB. Dreaded Return will get the CC, goes in with Grim Deliverance as well, but doesn't have that Cultivation of War passive fully built up. He'll try and stack it on Knight for now. The taunt's going to land. There is the Resurrection, and a TP coming in as well from Bin. I'm not sure his services were required here. Perhaps they just want to give him the kill, as Knight did start his recall. Broken Blade taken down in the end by 3 of BLG.
Looked a little bit weird. It looked like
they were dragging in a minute's time.
The gold lead extends to 6k as they steal away this red buff. Caps looking for the flank, dives in, will land the chains onto On. Viper with the arcane shift, trying to keep Caps at bay as the Bob caught out with the magical journey going out. He'll land that Tempered Fate, but been able to dash away across from it. On in the middle of it, gets away himself as Caps has to get out of the fight. Dreaded Return from Broken Blade towards Shun, but Shun still has that Guardian Angel. And G2, they're trying to pick
flashing. He thought that clone was Caps, so that is something definitely working for G2.
I like it. We're making it super hard for them.
There's a famous quote from
just making it harder. It's a long series, right? If BLG do win this, they go 1-1. The ulti drops.
Starfall in from Shun, and with On there, flash taunt onto Labrov. A magical journey. Well, that's not a cruise I ever want to take. Tempered Fate down on Shun, but Labrov falls for the 6th time this game.
For Caps, and yeah, Viper did get his maw, but sometimes you just find that one moment. If he can get a pick, if he can get a kill, he could turn the game.
Bin trying to trade back onto Caps, who dashes back. There's the Stand United, and Shun's on his way as well. Caps doesn't have the flash, torn it up, will dash with the distortion, but there's only a tower waiting for him. Dashes back, misses the chains on. Skumon tries to come across, but On will take the kill.
BLG here in this game, and I have to echo your sentiment from earlier, Ozell, which is that Shun really has just run the rift here in game 2.
Yeah, Shun and On together, I feel, have done an incredible job. On these pocket picks as well. And 2 minutes before the soul for them, Cloud. G2 have been on a life support for a long time at this game as BLG look to pull the plug. Magical journey out from Labrov. Viper doing the damage, but they are trying to jump onto him. He's able to dash away. Caps caught in the hero's entrance and can't make an exit. Broken Blade on the backline will get the shutdown onto Viper, but now BLG are in a 4v2. Hunsama trying to rejoin the fray. Grim Deliverance coming out. There's a Cultivation of War passive as well, but they just can't get out of this CC chain. BLG lock them up and throw away the key. Only Skumon and Hans can survive, and BLG with 4 will turn their eyes towards the Baron.
Caps was obliterated, Hans was taken out of the fight. BLG play with perfection. Viper does end up losing his life, but it is a short cost to allow for Bin, who is pretty much untouched throughout the entirety of it.
The outside, you're just locked up. There's no way you're ever going to be able to do anything. As Viper looks to arcane shift across the wall, the taunt onto Skumon will land as well. Didn't have his passive up as Caps tries to jump onto that backline, but once again, it's On sitting on Viper saying, yes, come in, I'll take the taunt, and we'll go in with the Justice Punch. Grim Deliverance as they try and get the chase on. Caps goes in, but the more shield alongside the hero's entrance, enough to keep Viper alive, and now Hunsama has to Valkyrie away as BLG continue to chase. Here comes the star fall, and the star that was Hunsama falls off the rift. G2 lose another in mid.
And just the Avengers from BLG, they're flying in out of nowhere, left, right, and center. More and more shields, more and more reinforcements. Has Viper there shot the 2-shot barrage the wrong way, and you think, hey, maybe he's going to be threatened. Then there's the Stand United. Then there's the hero's entrance. More and more shields getting piled in onto him. As you can see in the priceless moment of the game there from MasterCard, the soul has been claimed. This has been an action-packed game. They're constantly chasing G2 around the rift, and now they have that much more power. And when you think about a champion like Gwen, one of the best users of Cloud Soul in the game.
I mean, what an incredible performance from BLG. The way that they have navigated this fight are flawless as they set their sights onto Skumon.
The taunt into the Aegis Assault for the movement speed so they could get the shield bot onto Skumon, but Skumon does have that maximum dosage. On has to get away. Shun will fall into his GA. Knight still very tanky, and Viper coming across. Bin on the flank as well as G2 now need to run for the hills, but Skumon getting locked up for the moment. BLG not able to get much more than Mundo's ultimate.
I will say a bit of an overcommitment there from BLG. It was fortunate that they had numbers to collapse first.
Tempered Fate on Viper. Will they go for the follow-up? There's the stun. Grim Deliverance on falling low. Viper falls first. And now BLG are the ones on the retreat. Caps trying to get onto that backline. Broken Blade going for more. His first ever hand game, and he pulls on back. Bin now slipping through Hunsama. Caps falling as well as Bin is able to get onto the backline, but he's shut down. G2 now in a 3v1 as only the knight stands, but he bows to Broken Blade.
But they're back to life.
Oh, Broken Blade caught out here. Good deliverance coming out as well. With the dreaded return, he will get the cultivation of war, but the rest of G2 are nowhere near helping him. BLG looks like they used
Does he win
the
this?
Stand United Grand Starfall combo. And Betty, you were wondering if he could win. The answer, unfortunately,
for G2. So they're going to go back to their winning ways, get vision control, fish for a pick themselves as they set their sights on this bot tier 2.
Should just be able to take the tower down. There's the taunt onto Skumon. Maximum dosage has to be used, but the CC chain continues. Tempered Fate out as G2 look to try and turn the play. Cosmic Binding will get the stun, but the chase for Shun goes in with a shield vault. And at the moment, without their jungler, G2 can't really contest. BLG continue their advances.
That is exactly the right play, though. Find those picks. You know you have the numbers advantage because Broken Blade hasn't respawned, and so instead they catch Skumond out, staying way too long to protect that bot tower. They're committed to breaking open this inhibitor, and they're sending everything to find more.
It's a Starfall hunt. Someone cleansed him to chaos away as they look to try and turn it, but BB in the midst of BLG will fall first. BLG now advancing. A small blip in the top side is not enough to fell the kings of the LPL. They want to even out the series as Caps tries to dive in, dashes away from the shield bolt. Now it's on LeBron and Hans. Hans will flash and get the kill on, but BLG have already opened up the Nexus, and although Viper will fall, G2's Nexus will follow him to the grave. 1-1 in the finals.
In a tournament full of 3-0s, we are having an incredible start to the finals here. 1-1, both teams looking so strong. Lounge, what do you think?
We said that this series was going to be a bloodbath, and so far it is delivering. Now, I have one question. BLG showed up in this game and was like, how much global do you want? The answer is yes.
Yeah, I know. Gwen is the only one who doesn't... We're counting Ezreal, right?
Because they're all going to bin in the side lane.
Yeah.
With Camille and Jax are two of his most famous. If he locks in the Jax here, he's very much looking for, all right, I'm looking to be a scaling threat later on into the game. There's little that Sion can do to stop me, and while I might not have kill threat in the 1 versus 1, I have a mixed damage portfolio, which means I'm
BLG will take the fight to you at every opportunity. They'll make a few more mistakes, but they are so willing just to take a skirmish, whereas a team like Gen G, a little bit more methodical, still incredibly good, of course, has been flashes away here. Broken Blade's going to flash out of the Counter-Strike.
Low on many, you can get kind of stuck in these awkward lane states where the wave would be getting frozen against him. So part of what he's doing is trading flashes aggressively to just crash the wave and get a good reset. And I think he's so intelligent around playing these kind of timers on Jax, because Jax can struggle. You don't have built-in sustain early on. You can...
The health advantage that G2 have with the numbers advantage. The Nell's going to TP back in. A bit of a scrap.
Skumon looking for the smite. It goes over to Shun. Now Skumon pops the World Ender to try and get out of this. Crescent Guard Wind becomes laning, doesn't land, nor does the Solar Snare, but Skumon has nowhere to go. First blood, BLG.
The Messi of League of Legends is in our region. How can, we, of course, have excellent Sion players there. Shun, though, looking for a fight.
Encore onto LeBron, who doesn't have the flash. Caps trying to come across. There's the Enchanted Crystallara as well for the follow-up onto LeBron. Into the Solar Snare. The Karma finds her just as desserts as Skumon follows suit. Two more.
Instead, Shun has been the one continuously punishing, and now G2 are just trying to fish as the first tower of the
This far down, this early, you kind of get one good shot, right? You have to choose your moment. You have to say, all right, when we hit 2, they won't have 3 items
Clutches of G2 because Skumon is down in the bottom lane. BLG will open up the Rift Herald in mid. It's On that's going to ride it into the tower. They get it down to about half. Chain of Corruption goes wide in. A flame will land as Skumon comes in with the World Ender. They're trying to kill off Viper. Caps has a flank position here as well. The Encore comes down. Everyone dodges away from it, but Viper's able to flash the wall. Even with the crystallized, BLG now begin to collapse. Decimating Smash out from Broken Blade. Bin on the backline. Hans Summer has to extricate himself from the situation, but even with a cleanse and a flash, you can't cleanse Bin. He takes one. BLG just absolutely sweep away G2. You get one shot, and you're damn well missed.
An absolute slaughter in favor of BLG as they punish the aggression from G2.
Second dragon of the game, and you look across all the key carries, 1.6, 1.8, 1.2, 2.3k ahead right now. G2, if they manage to come back from this, it would be something pretty darn miraculous.
Cheryl not going to quite connect onto Hans Summer, but absolutely BLG
Encore onto Skumon. On just thinking we can take this trade. Chain of Corruption is going to land. Viper on the chase. Skumon forced out of his own jungle as the Brov trades with Knight. Caps trying to come across. That's TP in by G2. Rebuttal down. Knight has to flash into the Baron pit. He's locked in there, but they can't really follow up too much. Even with the decimating smash in the end, Caps will manage to secure the kill. Either for Viper or for Bin. Shun trying to get in to steal this away. LeBron on that front line. Crescent guard down. Good double knock. Good double CC from On. Broken Blade trying to dive onto the back line as the Baron has been stopped, but On is already down. Chain of Corruption is going to land onto Shun as Skumon goes in for a bit more of a chase. Bin has finally arrived, but they stun him. The Flash Frost. Maybe going to bury him under an icy grave. G2 find another. The Golden Eclipse says goodnight to Han Summer. The G2.
The best chance, even if it's a slim one.
And now the good news for Caps is he's about to tick over. Oh, hang on, LeBron.
Bad news for LeBron is he's about to dive. Eddie in a plane coming out won't be enough. With an arrow and a follow-up, Caps getting jumped on by Shun, who uses the Crescent Guard to try and make that Anivia into an omelet, but Shun is a little bit too deep. Counter-strike coming out, Bin there for the chase, On coming in as well. Han Summer will kill off Shun, but now Skumon needs to retreat because the Encore finds two. It's a double up for On and a double kill for Bin. A decimating smash out of Broken Blade trying to save Caps here, who will resurrect, but will he just be brought back to life to immediately die? Glacial Storm enough of a slow. Viper coming in from the side, Broken Blade trying to retreat to the safety of his tower, and BLG will call off the dogs. They won't look for more.
A semblance of hope is given to G2, and BLG quickly take it away. Broken Blade, though, still fishing for more. He wants to get that kill onto On, but he won't find it.
Has to flash across the wall to escape BLG, who will be able to take
pattern in this series.
Oh, we're going to go back to live as the action kicks off once more.
Caps being slowed up, Crescent Guard out, and just Bin on the flank. TP coming in from Broken Blade as well. G2 need to mark Bin. Han Summer flashes away from the counter-strike. Broken Blade on the front line. Stopwatch from Bin. Double control wards just to spot him out as he dives onto the back line again. The counter-strike, the flash forward from Viper. Bin is unstoppable, and Viper's here to sink in his fangs. BLG will wipe away G2. For a moment it looked like the EU representatives could find a way back in, but BLG just slammed the door in their face.
And Bin just found such a good angle there. He had the Seekers, he flies into the back line. Sure, Hans can flash the first Counter-Strike, but that's what the Seekers is for. Buys the time for the cooldowns to come back up. He can do nothing about the second. Hans is food for the Jacks. BLG grab the Baron and have a stranglehold in this game.
And a flash from Viper as well in the midst of that fight. He just says, okay, I'm tired of being zoned away by this Sion.
Test at that next one, deny the soul. But BLG aren't going to give you time because they have the Baron buff. They're going to push through multiple lanes.
Broken Blade going in with the unstoppable onslaught. Now BLG all able to dodge it. Crystallize coming down with the wall as well. The Encore on BB. He might be tanky, but he just can't survive the onslaught that is BLG. G2. Desperation ringing through them. Go for the engage. Can't find it. BLG now with a man advantage can look to push in and go to match point.
I mean, BLG game 2 played the game a little bit slower, but here in game 3, they're not wasting any time at all. With the Baron buff, they are melting these towers. G2 only have 4 members left alive, and they just don't have the wave clear needed to stop this siege from BLG. An inhibitor will fall. The tower protected mid, but for how much longer with this siege coming through for BLG?
Arrow not onto Skumon. He dashes away afterwards. Solar Snare just short as well. The beat drop not quite connecting onto LeBron. Good flash bosh on Knight, but Mikhail's away. On form, finding the support. Down to 2/3 HP. Only one cannon minion in the mid wave is going to get cleared out. Caps flashing for the Crystallize. The Encore only onto the Anivia, but that might just be enough as Caps look for the play. Crescent Guard coming out. Stopwatch as well. Bin on the backline, and Han Summer. He just doesn't get a chance to do anything. Bin is taking names and putting them right in the trash as he wipes away the backline of G2, and BLG are trying to etch their name on the first stand trophy. One more game for BLG, one more game for the LPL, 2-1 to the LPL first seed.
Sub 30-minute victory as BLG will wipe out the confidence of G2. A convincing victory from start to finish. Let's hear what the desk has to say.
It's a bit quiet in here now, honestly. Yeah, the atmosphere has changed quite a bit. It has been the LPL's game for 2 games in a row now, and God, I always forget how good Bin is on Jax. A menace here once again.
He is so good at playing with these margins. I remember initially when he burst onto the scene, people were looking at his Camille and Jax and what makes them
about diving and more about the self-peel. Going to be using the ultimate to try and outplay the Camille and basically try their best to stay alive.
TF is interesting. You know, if you go TF, you are playing to the sides. I don't really like Cassio. That's a little bit strange. I mean, I think it's compositionally a good answer. In the 1v1, definitely don't want to
use this opportunity to steal away a camp. Level 2 for the bot lane of G2 means
Shun is fighting him for it. Skewmon looking for the smite here. 700 HP on the red. Skewmon, the smite comes down, but it's Shun that will secure it. No, it's Skewmon, in fact, as LeBron tries to come across. Caps there as well. Miasma down. Excessive force from Shun. Skewmon flashes for the kill, trying to heal up with the red buff here, but Knight will be able to take him out with an Noxious Blast. BLG will even out the fight 1-1.
Yeah, I just don't think it's worth it at all there for G2. I mean, Skewmon was fighting the red buff. They're going to keep going.
Heal from On. Looking for that trample stun as well. Noxious Blast gives Knight the movement speed. Has double buffs as well as LeBron tries to keep him at bay. Needs the Gleaming Quill healing, but even with the Siphon power, the shield is not enough. Knight 2-0 to kick it.
So devastating for G2. Very reminiscent of what we saw in Game 3. The advantage that Shun has over Skewmon is monstrous as On sets his sights onto mid.
Yeah, goes in with the trample. That's Petrifying Gaze as well. Caps was able to dodge to the side of it. Didn't get stunned up, even with the exhaust. Is able to walk himself to safety.
Yeah, nicely done there. Skewmon coming to cover, Lebrov there to cover. That could have been an angle for a kill. But it's just so hard now because Victor plays this a poke style against Cassio. But now Cassio gets 2 early kills, you get the 2 buffs, then you have an early catalyst, and all of a sudden you're kind of just ignoring the damage and hitting the wave.
And look at how quickly you're accelerating that tier as well, ramping that one up. On is doing so much work in this early game.
He's just everywhere right now. Skewmon will get the smite on the red buff. Trample coming out from On, knocks him back towards Shun. Battle dance away, but there's a cease and desist follow-up. And with the miasma coming in from Knight, LeBron has to try and dance his way away. Skewmon trying to get the red buff slow. The knock-up, Shun will fall, LeBron will survive. On caught in the gravity well, and BLG overstep is a double for Hans. All out onto Knight. Take a knee, Knight. Broken Blade will take him out.
A big over. Hans gets 2 kills out of nowhere. The Kais is accelerated. Broken Blade picks up a kill. G2 are in the gold lead.
BLG still doing a lot of things right through this early game, though. On and Shun teaming up. Shun's going to be able to take the second neutral objective of the game in the form of...
He's just so much stronger in the lane. He is looking to proxy right now, but Skewmon is in the area.
There's a Cyclone outbin. Hookshot wall dive. Doesn't get over the wall, though. Now flashes. Broken Blade with the path. Mega Hexagon Ultimatum tries to be used. They'll pull it back with the all out. And G2 will find
2 kills that Broken Blade has been able to pick up. You know, on that earlier roam, he got the kill on Knight. Now gets a second one here. And
that could be a solo kill.
Caps. Look at the damage.
Yeah,
Clanks against it with the Arcane Storm. Caps brings the power of Hex Tech down on the head of Knight.
Yeah, I mean,
Shun going in with a flash cease and desist, and even with the death ray, I don't think Caps walks out of this one. Skewmon trying to come in. Siphon power, the shield, the quickness. Perhaps he does. G2, where have these miracles been waiting?
G2 don't have a firm foot in this game, but maybe that'll change right now.
Caps and Skewmon on the flank, On with the knockback onto Lebrov, who does have the quickness. Caps trying to come in with that gravity well. Heal out from On will get him out of it. There's the silence with the Arcane Storm. On knocked up, and Breakable Will pretty well broken by G2. Viper now with the Feather Storm, with the flash. Are they going to go into his nest? Are they going to look for the dive with a TP out from Knight? Shun on his way across as well. G2 begin to call off the play. They get the TP out. Shun won't be in range to stop Skewmon with a Noxious Blast. Knight can still chase in. Cyclone Miasma. LeBron dodges the Petrifying Gaze. The killer is coming out. LeBron, that was beautiful. He dunks on him. LeBron James with the alley-oop, a double for Hans Summer.
So well. And G2 out to nearly a 3,000 gold lead off of an early game that felt like it was BLG's.
All out onto Bin here. Hookshot wall dive will get him away. Phoebe could have flashed forward, but Bin has to flash.
Subjected.
The game is far from over, but if you're BLG and you lose this game, that is what you were thinking about. You're thinking about that failed invade.
Oh, On with the knock-up here. Shun there for the follow-up. Miasma down. Blast Cone used. Beautiful stuff from BLG. A trident, and they skewer him on the end of it. Broken Blade now needs to get away. We'll be able to get Shun underneath the tower with the path. Make a Q3 for the knockback as well. BLG investing 4 to make sure that Bin can take this tower and open up the map.
And that's first tower, so there's a ton of gold given back to Bin. BLG want to try to get over there.
Well, looks like it is just going to be given over to G2. Their second of the game. Yeah, 28 minutes sold.
These waves becomes very difficult for K'Sante to put them down. BLG overloading bot side.
Flashing in with the knock-up quickness coming out, but with the Hexag Ultimatum follow-up, there's no escape from Labrov. A bird in a cage.
Getting that anywhere near that top tower, and maybe he will secure it, but BLG get a tower of their own with a kill as well.
They did commit
it behind in gold because of that lack of participation. Once he starts getting those kills, I mean, he's even in terms of itemization.
This is what they keep doing. They see Labrov overstepping immediately. They jump onto him. It's not going to be enough as Broken Blade tries to get him towards the back line. Skewmon going in. Labrov is able to escape even through the poison ticking. Viper walking away as Broken Blade is headbutted back to the rest of his team. But meanwhile, Bin continues just to push in a side lane. BLG distracting G2 from
Across
Bin.
the board. It all comes down to execution now as BLG is going to secure their third outer tower. That's 3 towers to 0 right now.
What they're going to do, Bin can just teleport back. Shun and Knight able to do the Baron by themselves. Bin being collapsed on by Caps and Broken Blade. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Skewmon and Hansama just trying to keep the wave around. Bin able to dodge towards the inhibitor tower and keep the rest of G2 distracted. Labrov, Hansama and Skewmon are into the Baron pit right now. Skew trying to get in there. Vision in the back of it for G2. Hansama opening up with the Acadian Raid. G2, Caps is going to TP in. Skewmon on the Baron right now and they can just finish it. Shun flashes in, gets the Smite Season Assist as well. On's going to fall to the Arcane Storm. Shun in the middle of the pit is going to go down as well. Bin was able to escape. G2 will find 2, but BLG...
They are looking for a potential collapse here. Bin still has ult.
No, but Bin is just looking for the fight. Bin loves this position against G2. Knight trying to step forward. Skewmon trying to get out. The hookshot wall dive in from Bin. Hexag Ultimatum put onto Skewmon, who's invisible for a second. Knight with a Noxious Blast. TP behind. Skewmon flashes. Dies immediately afterwards. Labrov having to dance his way away. But Bin's trying to get onto that backline. Petrifying Gaze going to land as well. There's a headbutt. Pulverize. And BLG punish G2's hubris. They take them down as they look for the dragon.
It's the Spellbook TP from On into the 3-man combo. They're going to look for more than that. They're just going for the base right here. Right now, it's 30 seconds on Hans. They might just end the game.
So many times BLG have come up just short. Second place, second place, second place. But here in first stand in Sao Paulo, they are looking for the ultimate prize. BB trying to be on that front line, but he is dead where he stands. Caps trying to defend. G2 unable to do anything. Second place no longer. Redemption for BLG. Resurrection for the LPL. BLG are your first stand champions.
And it can end that quick. BLG flip the game on a dime, find the angle, knowing they have that teleport that's going to be available from On, knowing Bin can play for the fight, knowing that G2 are focused on the dragon. BLG pile in and crush the dreams of G2, who made you believe in this tournament, who made you believe in this game. But BLG are the first stand champions, first international title for this organization, first international title for the LPL since 2023 MSI. The LPL fans have been hungry, and finally they can eat.
What a performance by BLG. Not just today, but across the tournament. They have been dominant, and today they showed they are the very best in the world right now. For the LPL, as you say, 3 long years in the desert. Now again, international glory. We'll see if they can continue it across the rest of the year. But right now, one thing is for sure. It is BLG's world, and we're just living in it.
I mean, you called it, Medic. They have been sitting in that second place for so long. It feels like that this organization has come so close so many times, yet they've been unable to do it. And in this game, it was looking scary. It was looking close. Was it going to be another situation where they were at match point and they couldn't close things out? But then they took the initiative themselves. They drove home that final fight, and they just ended the game off the back of it. BLG's players are standing out. And coming into this tournament, all eyes were on Knight. They were on Bin. But really, it was On and Shun that were the superstars of this roster that really brought everything together and were the massive playmakers for BLG, especially in today's final.
I mean, they played incredibly well. A slower start for their standards, 5 games against FEARX. But after that, it was domination. They 3-0'd G2 last time. G2 able to get a game this time around, but BLG reigning supreme. And they got Viper with their eyes on international titles. This was one of these massive pickups where the entire offseason was stalled around this player in the LPL, everyone hoping that they would be able to recruit him to their team. But he wanted to play with Knight, he wanted to play with Ben, he wanted to go to BLG. And in their first opportunity, they have claimed international glory.
I mean, massive credit to BLG. And I mean, it sets up for an exciting year with LPL back on top, with LCK faltering here at this tournament, and Europe's G2 standing strong. It makes for MSI a very interesting affair and an interesting year ahead.
And G2 continue to be the LPL's 4th or 5th seed, depending on what tournament we're at. They take out the LCK and then lose to BLG here in the finals. For G2, of course, commiserations on the finals, but what a performance they have put up across the course of this tournament.
Exactly, and like I said, you know, before they even played this series, I still believe that this is the best international performance from Europe ever, from G2 ever. 3-0 over the #1 and #2 LCK seeds in back-to-back series, I think is unmatched, was incredible, but BLG, the rightful champions here today, there's no denying it. 6-1 against G2 in this tournament. They definitely have had their number.
Absolutely, they certainly have. The LPL continues to be Europe's kryptonite. And I mean, what an exciting team to watch as well. I feel like a lot of the concerns that we heard about this team coming into this tournament was sometimes they get overzealous, they get a bit overambitious. We even saw it at the beginning of this game where they just went too deep on their invade. And there were comments about like how good is their team fighting. But everything seemed to have come together for them at this tournament. They found their form in the meta. They also kind of defined how the meta should be played. When a lot of teams were driving through bot lane, it was top and jungle that was the main drivers for this squad. And again, Ben even demonstrating his excellence with his carry-style champions, the impact he was having in all of these fights. They've been a super exciting team to watch, and now the responsibility is on the rest of the world to catch up.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure to watch, and I do think just for Global League, this is such a good tournament because we saw that the LCK can bleed. We saw that the LCK is not guaranteed. They don't just show up and the best LCK team is given the trophy. They can be taken down, and they were taken down by an unlikely source. It was BLG. I think that most people were saying, well, if anyone could stand a chance against Gen G, it would be BLG. Pretty much everyone I talked to going into the Gen G G2 series was saying it was going to be a 3-0. There's no chance.
Yep, G2 always going to sweep.
Most people were predicting that, you know, Gen G would either drop 0 or 1 games in the whole tournament, right? And G2 showed that they can be taken down. LPL showed that they are back on top of the League of Legends world. So it does make it so much more exciting, I feel like, going into the rest of the year, you know, not knowing what is going to happen. That is the beauty of these tournaments when they are unpredictable.
Yeah, and I think that this tournament has reinvigorated 2 regions. Because for China, of course, now that they've gotten a title back since 2023, is extremely exciting for the LPL. But also for Europe, that hope has been reignited. The possibilities, the chance that gap is not as big as we initially thought. And so it sets us up for a very interesting year. That is absolutely sure. We don't even have to wait long, as the regular seasons for so many splits are going to be starting just around the corner, like a week or 2 away. And all these teams are going to get right back into their domestic leagues and right back into the action. So BLG, they're not going to have much time to relax, but they are going to take this opportunity to celebrate. You see them with the Brazilian crowd right now, who've just been absolutely incredible here at the arena.
Yeah, it's been an incredible time here in Sao Paulo, an incredible week of League of Legends action, and an incredible cast with both of you. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to hand it over to the analyst desk to break down that series and praise BLG more.
It has been one hell of a ride all week here in Brazil at First Stand, but at the end of the day, it is BLG taking it, overcoming finally that final step and seizing an international trophy for the very first time. Second time for Viper, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really happy for BLG. Initially, you know, Shun coming back onto this lineup, I know they've wanted to play with him again very specifically, and you can absolutely see why, because for me, he was so good today in terms of setting up their early game, and I'm just so glad that everyone got to see the fun and kind of chaos that BLG really love to bring to so many of their games. This was the team that they're like, we're just going to kind of smash you early and then take things over, and I think you saw that today.
I mean, it was such a chaotic finals, but especially in a tournament with so many 3-0s. This was back and forth, even in all the individual games. It felt so hard to read who was even going to come out with the Nexus taken down. And even the last game was back and forth throughout a constant.
Yeah, it was back and forth, mostly at BLG's own discretion, because that's just how they play. Yeah, they started winning hard, and then On is like, let's go into the jungle! And they all, you know, I do love it, you know, because you do get to see, oh yes, this definitely is still BLG that you know and love, because they do go very deep into the jungle, gives them back there, and then Bin gets caught out, and then Knight gets blasted, and you're like, whoa!
We take turns giving over some kills. I think the other thing is, while BLG were kind of this team that did just smash early on, they did have to learn. The team you see here now was a team that had to improve their team fighting, had to improve their side laning, and really focus. And you could see it just in this game where they're like, okay, you know what? We made a few too many mistakes. We're going to reel it back in. We're going to play it slower. We're going to play through this Camille. Bin's OG pick, right? His name in solo queue when he was coming up while he was a trainee was Love Camille. And he's done so many amazing things on this champion. But I just love how they also had to become a much more well-rounded team to win this tournament.
Yeah, wholeheartedly agree. And it is a difficult choice. You know, Shun, really big game, really big series. Bin as well, really big series. Personally, I went with Shun for player of this series, but I would not be mad with other votes.
Spoilers, so did I. Yeah.
I saw the classics come out from Bin, you know, the Camille, the Jackson, those team fights was just so impactful, but it was a tough call.
When he teleported in at that last dragon and you saw the flank from Camille, I was like, okay, yep, he's gonna like two-shot somebody right now. Went right at him, and then they just snowball and just win the game right off of that. Continue pushing.
Guys, I haven't heard you talk about On, because for me, when I think about BLG, when I think about the inconsistencies of BLG last year, especially despite the jungle changes, it was On the support next to Elk, who was often on and off, committing those FC, but I feel like he's been crisp, he's been fantastic this tournament.
I feel like On is a microcosm for BLG as a whole, right? Like, even in just this game, you saw him go
I'm living my best life.
Get out. We can't get out. Okay. Actually, I'm weak from base.
Yeah, severe.
Good job. I want to pop some.
Severe flash.
Yeah, W. Nice. I'm bot. You got this.
I love you. Perhaps they just want to give him the kill, as Knight did start his recall. Broken Blade taken down in the end by 3 of BLG.
Looked a little bit weird. It looked like
they're looking for a fight.
Encore to Lebrov, who doesn't have the fast caps trying to come across. There's been China Crystallara as well for the follow-up onto Lebrov. Into the Solar Snare. The Karma finds her just to desserts as Skumon follows suit. Bin on the backline. Hans Summer has to extricate himself from the situation, but even with the cleanse and the flash, you can't cleanse Bin. You get one shot, and you're damn well missed.
Yeah, very low. Guys, it's good fight, okay? She's stuck. I also. Nice.
The bot is mega low. Seraphine on the
Nice, good job.
Nice.
Stopwatch as well. Bin on the backline and Hans Summer. He just doesn't get a chance to do anything. Bin is taking names and putting them right in the trash.
And that could be a solo kill.
Perhaps. Look at the damage. Lanks against it with the Arcane Storm.
They're moving from both sides.
Camille moving as well, guys. Camille moving.
Knight with the Noxious Blast. TP behind. Skumon flashes. Dies immediately afterwards. Lebrov having to dance his way away. But Bin's trying to get onto that backline. Petrifying Gate's going to land as well. There's a headbutt. Pulverize. And BLG punished G2's hubris. Cavs trying to defend. G2 unable to do anything. Second place no longer. Resurrection for the LPL. BLG are your first stand champions.
Back in your city, we back. I gotta get to it exact. I'm never no time to relax. I'm packing the stacks, you packing your bags. Game time. They about to step on a landmine. Dialed in like a landline. We on the way.
Oh my God! It's a massive grab! Wow! Game time.
They about to step on a landmine. We on the way.
chillin' with a mean. When I pull up on the scene, like, let's get it, no limit. I get her, way clean, I whip it.